Welcome, everybody, to the Sartain Report. Let's get right into it.
Are very scary at the moment. I don't know if it's because I'm just getting older and I'm coming to terms with the reality of life, or if men are actually getting more manic, but
Okay, so this is one of the things we talk about a lot of times on the show. I totally understand why women feel uncomfortable. I understand how women in a dating marketplace could feel scared. Men are bigger than women. Men, throughout history, there's been situations where men have taken advantage of situations for sure. The difference is, though, we're at the lowest levels in modern history. And I'm sorry, let me say this again. We are the lowest levels in recorded history of sexual assault and rape, RAPE. We are at the lowest rates in recorded history. And it's just one woman after another on Instagram and TikTok saying she feels more unsafe. You feel more unsafe. No, what's happened is you're watching. First off, there's a picture of Andrew Tate in there. You see adolescence right there in the top middle part right here. Again, that was complete and total propaganda. Can you imagine? People are actually scared from watching that show Adolescence when adolescence is not even based in reality. Can you imagine how crazy that is? Like, there's actual legislation that's being passed in the UK based on the show Adolescence, when what happened on the show Adolescence never actually happened in real life. When I went to the UK a couple of weeks ago, I seriously thought I was going to get arrested.
I'm very, very fearful for women in society at the moment. You know what you mean?
Okay, one more time. We are at a point right now where in large metropolitan areas, women under the age of 30 are outpacing men as far as education is concerned. They're outpacing men. They're outpacing men as far as education. They're outpacing men as far as employment. They're outpacing men as far as earnings. There's a pay wage gap, and it's about to go in the opposite direction. We're getting to that place very close as places in Scandinavia where it's already happened. We have the lowest reported rates of like I said, SA and RAPE in recorded human history. But she says, I feel bad for women because things are getting worse.
Like a real life manosphere type of guy. I do think that there is a wave of men, and young men in particular at the moment, that are just uprising and are going so backwards. And
okay, so let's look at the data. We'll pull it up here in a second. New Statesman comes out with a survey, shows that 72% of men have positive views of women. 7% of men have an actively negative view of women. The opposite, however, is not true. Only 50% of women have a positive view of men. And under the age of 25, only 35% of women have a positive view of men. And 21% of women, 3 times that of men, 21% of women have an actively negative view of men. She's describing a manosphere. Feminism has existed far longer than the manosphere has. Misandry has existed far longer than the manosphere has. And its clutches, its ability to change people's minds is far greater than what the manosphere is doing. There's no argument for this. One more time, I'm going to say this. I've said this several times before. If you read data by Dr. Deborah So from York University, who wrote a book called Sextinction, or you read data from Dr. Jonathan Haidt, who wrote The Coddling of the American Mind, The Anxious Generation, and the Happiness Hypothesis. If you go read his books, he will tell you women use social media more than men and are more affected by it than men are. This woman is literally like sitting in her bed, distressed, so stressed out because of the experience that she's having. And listen, I recognize she's having an experience. What I don't recognize is that she's in more danger. What I don't recognize is that she has less economic opportunity. I don't recognize that because that's not true. And here's the last thing. The likelihood of me being banned on this platform, in fact, I'll tell you right now, I can't even believe we've made it this long on TikTok without them kicking me off. The likelihood of me being banned or censored for me stating what I'm stating. Notice I've used peer-reviewed data. I've used studies from the news, talk about the New Statesman. I've used studies, PhDs who've written books. The likelihood of her getting deplatformed for her statement versus me getting deplatformed for my statement is 100x higher for me. So this idea of the manosphere being so devastatingly bad. Andrew Tate doesn't have a YouTube channel. It's been taken away. Nick Fuentes has as well. Clavicular has had his YouTube channel taken away, and so has Justin Waller. You look at like Sneeko and all the different platforms Sneeko's been deplatformed on. You want to talk about the manosphere? The manosphere continues to be pervasive in spite of the fact that people make content like this, and social media agencies ad nauseum are trying to ban them. And by the way, at no point am I endorsing any of those people that I just said. My point is, it's way worse on the other side. The negative views that women have about men are being perpetrated because the social media platforms do nothing to stop them. And the reason why, because 85% of the purchases on TikTok are made by women.
It is so terrifying, and it enrages me, because when I have these conversations with people,
there we go, enrages you. Now we're getting to the truth. I
cannot believe what you're amounting women to. Men are very,
again, man, guys, I'm not even the slave. This is probably not what you expect. Most of us who watch this, there's no reason to be angry at her. What she's saying, I wouldn't be angry. I understand why she feels the way she does. Every moment she opens her TikTok app, it just floods her with misandrous content, telling her that men are worse. Again, I'm going to keep saying this. I'm going to say this so many times, I'm probably going to lose my YouTube channel for saying this. I'm probably going to lose my TikTok for saying this. We are at the lowest points in recorded human history for SA and RAPE, the lowest. Women have never earned more money than they do today. Women have never had more of an ability to level up from an academic standpoint than they do today. I understand why you feel bad, and I understand that you feel scared. What I don't agree is that you feel more scared, because while things may not be perfect, things are certainly not worse. The only thing that the manosphere is giving you is a place to wave your finger so that you can remain a victim. The only victim are the people who are being deplatformed, demonetized, and ratioed for saying things that are inherently true. And you're looking at one of them. I've been deplatformed, I've been ratioed, and I've been demonetized several times. I remember I had a video on TikTok that had like 50 million views. I had several TikToks that did super well. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I couldn't even get 60 views. I lost my TikTok. I couldn't even 60 views on a video. And then as soon as Larry Ellison buys TikTok, this magically super fair algorithm, all of a sudden now I'm doing okay on TikTok again, which is why I'm like slowly trying to creep back into this space. But this is one of the craziest things I've ever seen, that we're still at this place where, she makes content like this. And I'm sure that video probably got hundreds of thousands of likes or whatever, because other women felt the same. And I understand that you feel the same. My point is, the reality around you is not indicative of what you're describing. The world is not worse for women. Let me say it again. The world is not worse for women. Let me say it a third time. Let me invite any of you to debate me. The world is not fair. There's still a long way for us to go. But the world is not worse for women than it was 10, 20, or 30 years ago. No matter what she says, no matter what Wizard Liz tells you, no matter what you hear from Alex Cooper, no matter what you hear from MJ Gray, the world is not worse because of anything that's going on there. All right, so let's keep it going, man. Got a bunch of videos. Man, I love. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We really trying to do a little bit different format. I'm trying to get into the shit as quickly as possible so that you guys enjoy it. You guys know Owen Cook is one of my good friends. Owen gives me videos to respond to on a regular basis. So I got another one here for you. Tell me if you like this one.
Girls block fast. She will block you.
Oh, let me say this one more time. Most of these videos, I don't watch them all the way through because I want like a genuine reaction, and I want your genuine reaction as well.
Unblock you, check your story, block you, check your reels, and then block you again. Because women block emotionally. Men block permanently. When a man blocks you, you are digitally dead to him forever. There is zero curiosity and zero stalking. You're gone for good.
I will say this. I think there's less stalking for sure. I agree with him to a certain extent. I agree with him, but I do think that guys do still look sometimes. But as far as the looking afterwards, I will agree with him. It's probably more women than men for sure. The thing about this that I will say is, though, I don't think men should block unless it's something that happened that's really, really bad. I don't think you should block your ex. I know it's going to sound a little strange, but the reason why I don't think you should block them is because that's like sort of like that's showing that it mattered too much to you. Tell me in the comments if you guys agree with this. I feel like you're showing it affected you too much if you block someone. If I have someone that I was with and we're not with each other anymore and I block them, then what I'm going to do, or I'm not with them anymore, we broke up, what I'm not going to do is block them. What I'm going to do is not block them, but I might mute my story. I might take them off my close friends list, but they can still see what's going on in my life, because when they go and see that they're blocked, if I was a man and a girl I was talking to blocked me, I'd be like, wow, she was really affected by me. She was really attracted to me, and me not being with her in her life must really, really be hard for her. Maybe that's right or maybe that's wrong, but that's the impression I would get if I was blocked by someone. So I've told guys this before. When you get to the end of a relationship, you need to passively wish them the best. You don't need to actively tell them to go fuck themselves. Because you need to be bigger than that. Don't you want, well, you know that song, I don't fuck with you, doom, 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 doom. You're talking that shit, I ain't fucking with you. When I hear that song, you know what it sounds like to me? That guy was really hurt by that girl. That's what it sounds. That sounds like a dude who's like kind of crying and dealing with a lot of internal pain. Whenever I hear, I don't fuck with you, doom, doom. That's all I hear. It's like, man, dude, that sounds like a dude. Ladies, when you hear that, I don't fuck with you, does that sound like a dude who has a lot of options with women? When a relationship ends for me, while it might be sad and, I want the best for them and I'm going to go move on with my life, one of the things I don't have a problem with is options with women. So that's not really a big issue. I don't know what you guys think, but that's kind of how I see this. Let's keep this going. I like this video. By the way, again, Owen Cook sent me this one.
That's why girls want to sleep with you when you block.
No, this was not Owen Cook who sent this to me. It's a buddy of mine who's actually going through something like, he's a different guy. This guy's very, very famous. I'm not going to say his name right now. Very, very famous guy in Hollywood who sent this video to me. He's dealing with something like this, and he sent me this video. That's why I posted it.
There are only two fast ways to make a woman obsessed with you other than having a lot of money. First is make her laugh, and second is block her. She will obsess over wondering why you disappeared. Nothing haunts her more than a guy who was completely fine losing her first.
Bro, like shout out to the anabolics too. You see the shoulder, you guys see the shoulder veins right there? You see that right there? That's like week 9 or week 10 on the Anavar. That's where you get that right there. Shout out to him.
Girls blocks.
I like it. Okay, good video. I think he's more right than he is wrong. I do think dudes actually do stalk women after they block them or whatever. But I don't think it's as much. I think what he's talking about is correct. But being digitally dead to someone is probably the right way to be. But I've had people who were digitally dead to me, but I didn't block them, because if I block them, then I'm letting them know that they affected me too much. So that's probably not the play right there. Let's keep going, guys. Next video. This is funny. Is a friend of mine, Brandy. She made this video. I thought it was I don't know who told. This was a really, really well done video. This one I did see. Let's play this one for you.
So I'm texting with this guy, right? And he's like, hurry up and come over before I change my mind. Like, who the fuck does he think he is? I'm texting with this guy, right?
All right. Yeah, shout out to Brandy Andrews. If you guys want to check her out, guys, go check out Brandy Andrews. She's the homie. She's been on my show a couple of times. That was really fun. When I saw that, I thought that was very creative. That was a good clip. All right, let's go to the next one here for you. This one was great. I don't remember if we went over this. We were trying to go on this on Access Vegas, but even if we did, I really want to go over it again, because I think it's really important that you guys see this. And shout out to Rich Cooper. He's got a lot of really great content if you want to check him out as well.
To establish, what's an easy way for women to establish the value of a guy? The proximity of attractive other women in that guy's orbit. If he has an attractive wife, has an attractive girlfriend, if he's in a photograph with other attractive women, that makes him more valuable.
Again, this is one of the key distinctions that Richard, Rich wasn't trying to make this the point of his video, but it is a very important point. There's very clear data that does show if a man just takes pictures with attractive women, he comes off as way more attractive. And a lot of guys especially a lot of pickup artists, a lot of other dating coaches I've seen, a lot of guys in the whole dating app space, they don't believe this. They don't believe that if a man takes pictures with attractive women, that he comes off as more attractive. They think he looks try hard. You'll hear women complain about when guys do this. I heard Charlize Theron, she goes on Call Her Daddy. I think she says something to this effect. I'll tell you, as one of the guys who does this, and as a guy who's coached over 4,000 men on doing this, I'll tell you absolutely, it is a very effective way to generate attraction and interest with women. The thing that I think is misunderstood is that you can't just take pictures with women and think that you're going to generate attraction. The women have to show some level of compliance, and it's extremely important that the women follow you back and actually comment and like on the post, whatever post that it is you made. If you didn't do that, then yes, you do look like a tryhard.
To other women, because they just look at the proximity of other attractive women to his orbit, giving him attention, and think to themselves, oh, I don't have to evaluate that guy because he's already been pre-selected by those hot women over there.
That's what pre-selection means, guys. He's just such a great point. It's really important you guys understand this. In general, Homo sapiens, they're going to take the path of least resistance, right? That's why you see people who are the children of billionaires, they end up being just complete screw-ups, is because they really didn't have to work hard. Humans, if they don't have to run, then they'll walk. If they don't have to walk, then they'll stand. If they don't have to stand, then they'll sit. If they don't have to sit, then they'll lay down. Humans are made to take the path of least resistance. I want you to think about this heuristically. If you're a person who drives to work every day, do you go on Apple Maps every single day and then look up the fastest way for you to get to work? Probably not. You probably know, after working at the same place for 5 years, the best way for you to get to work. That's called heuristics. Well, for women, it's the same kind of type of situation. Do they need to burn the mental horsepower every single time to try to vet every single man? Or is there a shortcut for them to be able to vet men very easily? If you have ever been on Amazon and you've bought a product on Amazon and looked at how many reviews it had, or if you've ever stayed at a hotel and you looked at the reviews or what the star rating was, you have basically looked at a pre-selected item on Amazon or a pre-selected hotel room that you went and stayed at. And that's essentially what's going on here. It's the exact same situation. Oh, hold on, guys. Let me, I just realized I wasn't showing the comments. Shout out to all you guys in the comments, man. Thank you guys for being on here. A lot of guys in the room. Already got up to 100 people watching. I appreciate that. Shout out to everybody on Instagram and all you guys watching on. Hold on. We're gonna say the TikTok prayer. I'm still on TikTok. Yo, shout out to bro. I got 1,000 likes on TikTok already. Yo, okay. It's like I'm gonna say what I'm gonna give you guys my TikTok prayer right after this this next clip here. So yeah, just going back to what he said before, the pre-selection thing is just so important. So what women are doing is they're actually saving mental and physical energy and also taking less risk ancestrally. They're taking less risk by seeing a man who's surrounded by other women that by making that guy pre-selected. One of the things I don't like to do is trust me, bro. I really don't like to do. I will tell you, if I've had over 1,000 clients do something, I'll let you know that thing is effective. If I've read peer review data on it, I'll let you know that thing is effective. And if I've talked to someone else who's an expert, I will tell you. If we're just going off my experience, it's the greatest thing that's ever existed. Nothing even comes close. There's no even second or third. It's pre-selection, pre-selection, and pre-selection. It's absolutely crushes everything. I have women come out of the woodwork, admit to me absolutely no interest in you whatsoever, saw my friend was interested in you, saw you standing with this other girl, saw this other girl was following you, saw this girl come on your show, et cetera, saw this girl came to your bikini conversation, whatever. See it all the time. And then she says, and then I was interested in you. And then she'll say something like, I don't even know why I was interested in you. You weren't even my type. And then, you know, the hilarity ensues afterwards. I'll tell you, pre-selection is a cheat code. And the other reason why it works so incredibly well, there's two reasons. Number one, in order to really make it work for you, you have to have female teammates, female friends. Well, most of the people on the blue pill don't believe in female friends, and nobody in the red pill, with the exception of like maybe me and Rolo, believe in female friends. So since most people don't think that men and women can't be friends, the guys who actually know that men and women can be friends, those are the ones who crush it as far as pre-selection is concerned. That's one of the main reasons why it works so well. because other people don't want to try to do it. Again, if you have a strategy that you do that other people don't want to do because of like pre-existing, whatever stereotypes they believe in, then good, you should take advantage of it. And that's what I've done with my program. I went, instead of going hardcore cold approach, using the dating apps, going to matchmakers, showing a bunch of intent to women. Instead, what I did is throw outrageously awesome parties, friend zone hundreds of women, invite those women to come to my incredible fucking events. And then when they come, I don't even hit on them. And then they end up hitting on me. And again, as much hate as I get for even saying the words that I've said, go check my Instagram if you don't believe me. Let's keep going with what Rich was saying there.
So they know something that I don't know yet. That's what pre-selection is. And that's important to demonstrate in the world. Women want to be with a guy that other women want, that other men want to be. Do you understand? That's all that means. How you decide to signal that to the world, entirely up to you. I've just given you some examples of the way that you can do it, though.
He's exactly right. How you decide to do it is completely up to you. There's some people that are like, well, the only way you can show pre-selection is if you have a soft launch. So here's your hand and you've got your nice little Rolex on, and then you see the girl's hand right next to your hand. It's like a soft launch. That's the only way to do pre-selection. And then other people will say, well, the only way to do pre-selection is if it's you and your girl and you're holding hands and she's kissing you on the cheek. That's the only way to do pre-selection. And other people like, no, there's millions of ways to do pre-selection. Humans have the ability to find patterns in things where there are no patterns. They can find context where there is no context. There's infinite ways to show pre-selection. But in general, does it give you more success? It does. Does it mean every woman you ever meet is going to be madly attracted to you? Of course not. It's not going to do that. What it will do, though, that I've seen, one of the magical powers that it will do is if there's a girl who admires you but puts you in the friend zone, she still thinks you're an awesome dude, but she just put you in the friend zone. If you can show pre-selection to that woman, it's incredible. It's almost like, an appendectomy, how they have to cut you open and then they just pull your appendix out, right? Like that level of surgery. It's incredible when you use pre-selection, how you can just like literally pull yourself out of the friend zone. It's like literally that's surgically removing yourself from the friend zone. I've never seen anything work better. When people are like, Michael, how do I get in the friend zone? The answer that I hear from most dating coaches is, you just got to ignore that girl, block her. You just got to ignore I don't ignore them at all. You know what I do? I start dating someone hotter. I throw a humongous fucking event or I get invited to an event and I invite them to the event. You know what happens if I ever had a girl who put me in the friend zone? I'd get a girlfriend who was hotter than her and she could meet my girlfriend. That's what I would do. I would create incredible content online. I would just show that my life is just incredible. I wouldn't even spend time. I'm going to block her. She put me in the friend zone. I'm going to let her know that's not satisfactory for me. No, dude. No. Why are you so affected? Why are you so feminine and affected by this? Girl puts you in the friend zone. Why did you even notice? If a woman put you in the friend zone, why weren't you dating 8 other women? Why did you even notice she put you in the friend zone? How are you so unbusy that you even notice that she put you in the friend zone? How did you notice? Because you don't have enough options. You don't have enough abundance. That's why you even noticed. Dude, and the other thing I love about the pre-selection photos that's so great, there's some data that shows that people actually stick to their diet and their workout routines when they take pictures every day. It actually shows, because like you're proud of the fitness. You're proud of the fact that you lost body fat. You're proud of the fact that you got in better shape. I'll tell you the same thing. A lot of my clients, they love taking these pre-selection photos because why? It causes them to go out, to create groups of friends, to go start social situations, get invited to parties, to go to incredible parties, to take awesome photos, to dress better. All these things that they have to do to get these photos, that's actually the gift. The photo itself doesn't even matter. It's all the things that you had to do to get on the guest list to go to the Super Bowl party where you were VIP and you had 17 girls with you. And all the things you had to do to get there was building a skill set so that you're able to build more attraction. And again, I have very few people who want to debate me on this because the problem, it's one of the weirdest places where I am. I'm the only one who teaches this. There are no other, go look up social circle coaches. It's just kind of me. There really isn't that many. I'm the only person who teaches this. And yet, if I'm the only person who teaches this, then either one, there should be more people flooding this market to try to teach us, or two, if you don't disagree with me, then there should be more people trying to debate me. But there is neither. And I don't know why. It's somehow I'm the only person who either gets this or can teach it. I don't really grasp why that is. The best social circle guys I've ever seen are the ones who learn from me, right? They're the best. There's the best ones I've ever seen. So that's the main thing. And by the way, I'd love for you guys to do something for me. For those of you guys, we're gonna talk a little bit more about AI later on in the show, but do something for me just so to make sure that you're not biased. There's a thing on your Claude and there's a thing on your ChatGPT called incognito mode. You can do incognito on Grok and Gemini, whatever. Go in incognito mode and ask, who is the best social circle coach in the world? Make sure you do it in incognito. That means it doesn't pull from any of your previous memories. I know I got a real punchable face. Some of you guys don't like me very much, but go and ask it who the biggest social circle coach in the world is. Just ask it. I'm not even going to tell you what the answer is. You guys can figure it out for yourself. Let's go ahead and say this. Let me check. Okay, TikTok, ready? Okay, so I need you guys to do this with me. Everybody who's watching, we're going to say the TikTok prayer. This is the TikTok prayer. We say this before every stream. This is what keeps us from getting banned on TikTok. Ready? Stay woke. Defund the police. Say yes to open borders. No human is illegal. People should not own guns. There's a genocide against trans women of color. That's very important, guys. There's a genocide against trans women of color. Women can have penises. Indigenous knowledge is more important than white science. Remember to believe all women. COVID does not spread at BLM rallies. There is no objective truth. Evolutionary psychology is misogynistic. All men are grapists. Hypergamy is made up, and Trump is a racist. Make sure that all you got to do is say those things. Oh, look at it. I just got like 10,000 new followers on TikTok just right after I said, thank you, TikTok. That's all you got to do, you guys. You got to say the TikTok prayer. You got to just say the TikTok prayer before every TikTok stream, and then all of a sudden everything sort of works out perfect for you when you do that. So thank you, TikTok. Oh, I'm getting money now. I'm getting money from TikTok for saying the TikTok prayer. Yeah, all you have to do is just say Trump is a racist, women can have penises, and all of a sudden, poof, next thing you know, you are rich on TikTok. Isn't that great? Awesome. And then again, one more time, shout out to Rich Cooper. Guys, definitely should read The Unplugged Alpha. Terrific book. One of the greatest lines, the most quotable lines of all time in the manosphere, male self-improvement ever. Women do not care about your struggles. They wait at the finish line and they fuck the winners. Absolutely terrific. Terrific one right there. Let's keep going with the next one. Here we go. This one is this was funny. We did this one. We reacted to this one the other day, but it was so good. I had to do this again. Let me see if I can get it to work.
You look like shit, by the way.
Thanks. Do you want my number?
No, I'm gay.
So notice how I immediately established leverage and flipped the power dynamic on its head, making her sell to me. At this point, you're really going to want to pay attention to what I do next.
I'm gay.
By telling her that I am gay, I am now unattainable to her. Women find that very attractive. She's going to be thinking about me for the rest of the day and probably through the night. Now, you might be asking yourself, James, why do this if you have no interest in the woman whatsoever? That answer is very simple. She now feels a lot worse about herself, which makes me feel better about myself.
Hey, you look like shit, by the way.
Thanks.
Hey, man, listen, put a 1 in the chat if you agree with me. I don't like, so for instance, there's nothing you can say. If you're funny, I don't care if you say something that I disagree with. If you're funny, that was really funny. Like a lot of my favorite, like I love watching Shira 7. Like that shit is hilarious. The stuff that Alice Cooper says is funny to me. Who's the other one who's like, oh, Mia Dio. I love watching Mia Dio. Mia Dio says all the gold digger stuff. It's like, you have no gold. What? You live in a house? What house? This shit is hilarious. As long as you make me laugh, I don't care. I think it's funny. I also think that we as men, just in general, we don't have the privilege of ever being offended by anything ever, because the reality is when the world starts burning down, we're the ones who have to rush into the building and save the children. We are, because we're bigger and stronger. It's just the way the world works. When we're married with kids, we're the one who has to go downstairs with a shotgun in case there's an intruder. That's just the world. That's just the way the world is, man. It's all good. But we as men just don't have the ability to be offended. I love that video, though. That's a really funny one. Let's see if we got another one here for you. And then again, guys, if you have super chats, make sure you put in your super chats. there's a lot of guys out here commenting. I do appreciate that. Let's go to, this one's a big one. I've seen this one a million times and we've never shown it. And I don't know how I have never shown this one before. This is a really, really good one. And whenever I discuss it, people get really offended because one of the biggest narratives I'm sure all of us have heard is this idea that the reason the divorce rate is so high and the reason why most women file for divorces is because it's all men's fault. It's all men's fault. Women, basically what women intimate is that 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women because men suck. And if men didn't suck, then 70 to 80% of divorces would not be initiated by women. Unfortunately, facts then step in. And one more time, thank you to Instagram for always muting the video as soon as I pull up the video. Thank you for always muting it. It's really, really helpful. Shout out to Meta for that.
Highest divorce rates, 2 women. Lowest divorce rates, 2 men. Highest rates of domestic violence, 2 women. Lowest rates of domestic violence, 2 men. 75 to 80% of divorces filed by women. Top reasons: boredom, unhappiness, no longer compatible. Highest rates for maltreatment of children by women. Women consume social media at a far higher rate than men. Women are also 3 times more likely to deal with mental health issues than men. When you share these statistics, you are automatically labeled a misogynist pick-me who hates women. But fortunately, I care more about truth than being accepted by the sisterhood. I'm also not a girl's girl. I'm a woman's woman, which means taking radical responsibility and accountability for my own gender. And the truth is, we have a lot of work to do. What has happened instead is not only my generation, but the generations of women before us just constantly blame and deflect everything on men. You'll hear them say, well, if the men were good, if the men were better, if the men were more masculine, then we would be better women. And that's an extremely entitled take to say that your virtue only relies on men in society.
This is one of the strangest weak points of the whole argument, is the idea that all of the downtrodden vicissitudes that happen to women are always men's fault. Well, here's the thing. Even if there were things that were happening to me in my life that were someone else's fault, you know what you would hear from me? Nothing. You guys should pick up a book. It's called Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. Everything is my fault, even when it's not my fault. I have no place to be a victim and no one is coming to save me. The narrative that I hear, and it's not just women, it's all kinds of people, but actually there's certain groups of men that do the same thing, which is this idea that all the bad things that have happened to me in my life is because the referee made the wrong call. It's never because I didn't make the shot. And this is another situation. I couldn't imagine being part of a gender where all the misfortune that had befallen me was only because of the other gender. I couldn't imagine having so little personal responsibility for what happened in my life, that every single bad thing that's ever happened to me happened because of someone else, especially when then you look at the facts and find out. We'll play the beginning of this video again.
With that attitude, you will actually never attract the men that you claim to want in society. If you are living a debaucherous lifestyle as a woman, you cannot turn around and say, it's men's fault that I don't have anyone to marry. It's men's fault that the dating pool is messed up. No, it's your fault. The best thing that you can do in your life is just to say, everything is my fault, and start taking radical responsibility for your own life. Instead,
again, guys, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. The second book is called The Dichotomy of Leadership by Jocko Willink. And it's the thing is, the way it's written for military members, but it's really written about life. It's the only way to be a successful business person. It's the only way to be successful at fitness. It's the only way to be successful in your relationship. Are there things that are out of your control that are not your fault? For sure, but it's your responsibility to fix them because nobody else is.
Instead of blaming and deflecting on everyone else. Highest divorce rates, 2 women. Lowest divorce rates, 2 men.
Again, guys, I want you to consider that. And I'll just go ahead and give you a little bit more context here. But women get divorced at 3 times the rate. Like lesbian women get divorced. What is that? Oh, my stuff? Okay. My medicine is here. Okay, cool. I already feel stronger. When lesbian women get divorced at 3 times the rate that gay men do, when women don't have men to blame, they still get divorced at almost the same rate as heterosexual women do. How do you guys understand? It can't be that men suck. It can't be. Guys, I don't know if you noticed, this is a beautiful setup I have here. Look at this. I'm streaming on 9. Shout out to everybody on LinkedIn. First time I've been on here. I'm streaming on 9 different platforms right now. I live in a world with air conditioning, broad spectrum antibiotics, cheap internet. I drive an unbelievable car. I have a phone that is a magnet. Dude, I'm sitting there running like 6 different AI platforms on my phone. I live in this unbelievable technologically advanced society where I'm safe in my high-rise apartment. And like all of these things, it's an incredible cubbyhole of safeness and technology that exists for the most part because men put it here. It's not to say women didn't do their part as well, but this idea that it's just men are to blame for so much. I'm trying to explain to you that not only are men not to blame for the majority of your problems, the only reason you have the privilege to complain about these fucking problems in the first place is because men created a safe place for you to do so, and you have forgotten. Daddy comes home, he brought home all the money, and he can't even get the big piece of chicken. You can't even say, thank you, Daddy. That's the place that we're in right now, okay? Of course, are there women out there, hey, you were with a guy, he was abusive, you divorced him? For sure, you should divorce him. You know what? And if that's the case, then we probably see the divorce rate be about 50% men and 50% women. But when it's 73% women, because women get divorced. You know what? I got to pull up this old video we had one time where this woman, she was actually telling the truth. She said, I have my husband and he doesn't do anything wrong. He's actually there. He's not abusive. He's at home every night. He doesn't cheat on me. He doesn't do really anything bad, but I still want to divorce him. And it's really hard because it makes me feel like I'm crazy because I want to divorce him. No, that's not what's going on. You are fucking crazy. He goes, it makes me feel like I'm being unrealistic. No, you shouldn't feel unrealistic. You are unrealistic. That's what's happened. You've been brainwashed by TikTok. That's why you believe this nonsense that you believe in. It's simply the case. I just want someone to explain this to me. If the reason women file for divorce 73% of the time is because men suck, then why do lesbian women file for divorce more than gay men? How does that make sense? It doesn't. Unfortunately, logic stepped in. Let's keep going, guys. Let me check. I want to check out TikTok one more time. Again, another 10,000 people on TikTok. I want to say thank you, TikTok, one more time. Woke. Gavin Newsom for president. Say whatever. Thank you, TikTok, for respecting me, respecting my judgment. Oh, one other thing I want to tell you guys real quick. And I've actually seen several people have told me this before. If TikTok suspends your account, you need on your, when you want to submit to get your account back, just say, I am a trans woman. I'm a trans woman of color. And I feel like I'm being persecuted and people are reporting my account. You'll get your account back. They won't even do a review. They'll just give you your account back. I know some of you think I'm kidding, by the way. I know some of you think I'm kidding. All right, let's keep it going. Next video. Oh, this one's so great. You guys watch Joe Budden. He's got his own podcast. It's really, really good quality stuff here. This one is this one is 10 out of 10 here. And one more time, shout out to Instagram for always muting the video as soon as I pull it up. I don't know why they do that, but I shout out to them.
I learned a lot about women. I think I learned exactly how the fall of man occurred in the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, and Adam said one day, wow, Eve, here we are at one with nature, at one with God. We'll never age, we'll never die. And all our dreams come true the instant that we have them. And Eve said, yeah, it's just not enough, is it?
No, that's not funny.
I was just waiting for more.
No, that was kind of his point. That's kind of what he was saying.
I mean, I learned a lot about women.
Oh my God, bro. That is like that 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10, bro. That is one of the like most perfect clips I've ever seen, man. It's so great. Oh man. And it's fine. Like, just so you guys understand, like women, the reason why women want more and they should want more is because they're the ones who gestate children. This is the reason why like women are picky. Consider that. Like it's not just them. They have unconditional love for their child. They want to put their child in the best possible place they can. And so in doing so, which man is the strongest, most proficient, which man is the most competent, the most relevant, the one who's going to make sure that me and my offspring survive. That's not a feature. That's not a bug. It's a feature. If you've ever experienced unconditional love from a parent, you understand what I'm saying. You may be having all this trouble between you and some girl you're just talking to on the phone. Well, that's because all her selectivity is for later on finding the partner that she ends up raising a child with. That makes sense. The problem is that inclination to be selective. It's like if you ever seen a person who has cancer and you give them human growth hormone, the cancer actually grows. Well, that's the same thing. There's a proclivity for women to be picky, and now you've injected a growth hormone into them. Except this growth hormone is called Hinge. This growth hormone is called TikTok. This growth hormone is called Instagram. This growth hormone is called Raya. This growth hormone is called Twitter. Or not Twitter. This growth hormone is called Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. That's what this is new growth hormone that's growing the selectivity to the point to where it's unrealistic. Man, great video. 10 out of 10. That's a classic. I'll probably play that like once a year. That's a really, really good one. Let's keep it going here, man. One more time, guys. If you guys want me to read out your super chats, you can do so. I will read out a couple here on Instagram. But you guys are writing in the chat here. Michael, you say you know 2 guys that are female panders that you're friends with. How do you know that they aren't the next blank, or how do you distinguish them from male feminists? No, because they know they're not male feminists. Like, they know what they're just doing it to make money. That's why. Like, again, guys, I'm just like, I'm going to be honest with you. On the one hand, I think this is a really rough one. I see guys all the time, go to women and start talking about their astrology signs. And the men are fully aware. I see men get tattoos of their astrological sign on their body. And they do so to meet women, knowing full well that they don't believe in astrology. They do. And then later on, when you tell women, hey, you know, that guy you slept with, you know, the only reason why you slept with him is because he lied to you about all this astrology stuff that he believed in. He didn't believe in any of that stuff. Women don't even get offended because they believe in astrology. So it's like you're just kind of in this weird place. So when you say this before, like, what do you do? These guys are making a boatload of money on TikTok because women believe in the pandering nonsense that they're saying. Like, who am I supposed to blame here? Like, at some point, I just don't care. Like, okay, I'll give you another example. There's a guy who he looked exactly like Lionel Messi. Have you guys seen this before? This is such a crazy story. Lionel Messi impersonator, 23 women sued him. Let me see if I can pull this up. Here we go. Okay, so this is I don't have all the details for this one, but let me show this to you, guys. This is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. So this guy, he basically looks like Lionel Messi. This is him right here. That guy actually does look like Lionel Messi. Yo, hey, real talk. Some of you news organizations, maybe you ought to stop putting all this freaking like spam on your channels. How about you stop doing that? So this guy, he does look like Lionel Messi. And basically he was accused, Lionel Messi lookalike denies using appearance to sleep with 23 women, as he calls the accusation fake news. Well, apparently there were 23 women who sued him because he looked like Lionel Messi and these women slept with him. So who is to blame here? Because Lionel Messi's married. So these women had no problem whatsoever thinking that this guy was Lionel Messi to sleep with him. They didn't have a problem sleeping with him, and he's married. So my whole question is, if these women are suing him because they slept with him, the impersonator, thinking that he was Lionel Messi, then why doesn't Lionel Messi's wife then have the right to sue those women? Am I crazy? Who am I supposed to blame here? So when a man uses astrology to end up hooking up with a woman when he doesn't believe in astrology, like, who's really at fault here? Like, I don't know how to answer this question. I would never do it because I think it's dishonest, but like, I don't know who's to blame. I don't know how to square that circle because I don't believe in astrology. So I don't know. Let's go to the next question here. Playing with perceptions. What are your thoughts on the ethical, more emotional, secure pre-selection versus unethical pre-selection, toxic tribalism, toxic popularity, good status versus bad status? I've gone over this. There's no such thing as good status and bad status. I've been very clear about this. Cancel culture, power tripping, and status stripping as it applies to pre-selection. This is a little too much of a question, man. I don't know how to answer that one. Good question, but it's like the thing is, I'm just going to explain to you. I don't think pre-selection is ever immoral. Because the thing is, okay, let me ask you a question. If I wear a suit, a really nice suit, I just bought a suit last week for several grand. It's a really nice suit. Buddy, shout out to Bronx Warren if you guys want to check him out. He's the one who made that like bluish purple suit that I wore to the last Babes in Toyland that a bunch of people complimented. James Sexton writing me, he's like, yo, that suit is awesome. Bronx Warren made that suit. Make sure you guys go check him out. If I go get that suit, and let's just say I'm in pretty decent shape, but let's just say I wasn't in good shape, and the suit masked the fact that I had a little bit of a gut and made my shoulders wider and just made me look a little bit more professional, a little bit more relevant, is that toxic? Is me wearing clothes that made women more attracted to me, is that toxic? I'm asking. I'm just asking. Is that toxic? Looking your best, is that toxic now? I just don't. There's no such thing to me as toxic pre-selection. There's no such thing to me as toxic status either, because there's no good guy status or bad guy status. For those of you who want a little bit of a history lesson, let me help you out. But for those of you who are over the age of like 40, 45, you guys remember there used to be a time when there were good guys and there were bad guys on TV. You knew that the Iron Sheik was the bad guy, and you knew that Hulk Hogan was the good guy. You knew this. You knew that when Hulk Hogan fought the Andre the Giant was the heel. He was the bad guy. You understood this very, very clear. Then around 2000, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was the Bush administration. I don't know what happened in the world. Maybe it was the internet. But all of a sudden, around the year 2000, all these characters, these anti-heroes took over the media. Let's name some of them. The Rock. He was the good guy and the bad guy. Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was the good guy and the bad guy. The Undertaker. He was the good guy and the bad guy. How about Tony Soprano? He was the good guy and the bad guy. Jack Bauer from 24 was the good guy and the bad guy. Gregory House from House MD, the good guy and the bad guy. Dexter, you guys remember Dexter? He's like the ethical mass murderer. He was the good guy and the bad guy. All of a sudden, you had these characters were the good guy and the bad guy at the same time. This was not something that we were used to. There was good guy status and bad guy status. And that just for some reason, about 25 years ago, that completely disappeared. And now you have the ultimate good guy, bad guy. He's the good guy who stands up for you, and he's the bully. Do you know what his name is? His name is Donald Trump. He's the ultimate good guy, anti-hero, bad guy at the same time. And no matter what he does, the good guy and the bad guy, people like him more. This is the reason why personalities like Nick F. and Andrew Tate and Myron and whatever, they don't go away. Like they sneak out, they never get canceled. Destiny, it never, like think about all the times you've seen Neon get humiliated by his ex-girlfriend or whatever, and he just comes back the next week and he's more popular. Why is that? Why is it that these streamers who get humiliated on stream, they're more popular than next week? They get dunked on. You saw Dean the Great, he got punched by Larry Wheeler or whatever. You see these guys get punched, they get knocked out on camera, all this kind of stuff. Next week, more followers, more followers, more followers. I'll tell you why, because there's no good guy status. There's no bad guy status. The Wolf of Wall Street. The guy steals $100 million from old people. He punches his wife in the stomach. He kidnaps his own kid. He's high on Quaaludes. He gets into a Lamborghini and crashes it into a wall, almost hurts his own kid, puts his own kid's life in jeopardy. They make a movie about him. He goes to jail for 15 months. And any one of you would party with fucking Jordan Belfort. And I'm not the first guy. I'll be the first guy to admit I would too. That's just how the world works. Nobody seems to care about good guy status or bad guy status. So I will argue strenuously that is not a thing anymore. I'm not telling you to be the bad guy. What I'm telling you is that it doesn't matter if you are the bad guy anymore. You guys, think about Narcos. Do you guys remember that show Narcos? How much were people just like in adoration of Pablo Escobar? Do you understand how many people? I'm Colombian. Do you understand how many people? By the way, the day he gave himself up to go to his like his prison finca like in Medellin, I was there. I was in Colombia in 92. I was in Medellin and I saw the helicopter fly over the city. Everybody saw it where he turned himself in. And I will tell you, man, the idea, the way people like adore and worship Pablo Escobar, who made billions of dollars for selling cocaine to people and murdered so many people, plata or plumo, right? The lead or gold. Which do you want? And people just idolize him. Was he the good guy or the bad guy? Which was he? Well, if you're some of these people who had him build a football field for you, or some of these people who got all this money for your school, he's a good guy. He's a hero. You know, it's like, oh, fuck those gringos in North America, sell them drugs, make Colombia richer, which he didn't actually make Colombia richer, but you understand what I'm saying. Is he the good guy or the bad guy? Which is he? The answer is there is no good guy status. There is no bad guy status. Now, here's the crazy part. Ready? This is the part you didn't expect. There is no good girl status or bad girl status either. Rather, there's no good girl attraction or bad girl attraction. Everybody wanted Megan Fox. Megan Fox is currently with a guy, Machine Gun Kelly, who wears a pink dress, is covered in tattoos, has slept with thousands of women, has cheated on her, but she chose him. Because there's no good guy status or bad guy status. There's just status. There's no good guy attraction or bad guy attraction. There's just attraction. The quicker you can grasp that, the easier your life will be. I'm specifically speaking to you. Some of you guys who come from homogenous societies, like some of my clients are Chinese, some of my clients are Indian, some of my clients who are Eastern European or German. They come from societies where they believe that is the status and the quality of family that you belong to that is indicative of how many women want to sleep with you. That is not correct. Or maybe it was correct 100 years ago, but it's not correct now. That's game. You guys should write that down. That is absolutely the truth. The guys who grasp that quicker, you're going to do better with women. The guys who don't, you aren't going to do better with women. This also leads me to the last part, just in case all the people out there who hate me, I'm going to throw you a bone as well. If you're a dude and you're calling a woman a slut online and she won't fuck you, then what does that say about you? Her being a slut did not make your arms small. It's not her being a slut is not the reason you can't bench press 125 pounds. The reason you don't make 50K a year, 50K a month is not because she was a slut. It's because you're a loser and you don't take responsibility for your own actions. Don't sit here and listen to women complain about men constantly. Be like, look at her complaining about all these men when you haven't done anything with your life. I'm sorry. It's one of the biggest wastes of time I've ever seen is getting online and leaving comments about some woman that you're never going to meet in your entire life and calling her names. It's okay to observe the intersexual dynamics and the problems that are happening, but it's not okay to just call people names for no reason. Unless it's me. You can call me names for a reason because every time you guys call me names, the algorithm rewards me. Let's keep going. It's funny. As soon as I start this show, every time, as soon as I start, 7 o'clock kicks off, we start, Sartain Report. Everybody just goes in and out of my apartment. All of a sudden, I get 5 million text messages from people, all of whom know that I do a fucking live stream. All of them know. I just get oh, Michael, I need your help with this right now. Just right at the moment that I go live, I don't understand. If you're my friend, you should be subscribed to my YouTube. That's all I'm saying. This is a big one. This one's a little deep. This one's a little heavy. I wanted to wait till a little bit later in the program to show this, just because I do know how the algorithm works. I do not now this is from TikTok. So if TikTok bans this is going to be really interesting. By the way, I'm going to say this again. I'm at 1,000 likes on TikTok. Thank you to all you guys. I got 24 coins from. I don't understand the TikTok lingo. It's like when I'm on TikTok, it's like I'm watching anime characters. I don't understand what I'm looking at. I need someone to explain TikTok to me. Shout out to see all you people leaving quotes here, leaving questions. Thank you guys so much. Is my super chat turned off? Is that what's going on here? Hold on. I think that might actually. Oh, damn. Is that what's going on? Hold on. I think that might actually be it. Damn it. Yeah. I may have not turned monetization on this clip. So can you guys just tell me real quick if you can leave a super chat? Because I think this might be my fault. I think it may accidentally have turned monetization off. Yeah, it said I've never downloaded TikTok. Guys, write me back. Just write me on YouTube here and tell me if you can at least try to leave a super chat. If you can't, let me know. It might be my fault, but because I didn't. Like I said, every time I set this up on StreamYard, it doesn't automatically allow me to. I have to turn the thing on to monetize it, and I can't do it right now because I'm on here with you guys. All right, let's keep going. Next video here. This is a really interesting one. I haven't watched the whole thing, but I have told you guys before about I can leave a super chat. Okay, so you can leave one. Okay, good. If somebody leave like a $1 super chat, I'd really appreciate it. Cool. All right, guys. Just it also would make me feel a lot better about myself because I don't feel that good about myself right now. So I would really appreciate it if you guys would leave me the super chat.
31% of women reported knowing another woman who had made false sexual assault allegations against a man. And if that wasn't bad enough, 39.6% of women indicated that they could imagine, if needs be, making a false sexual assault allegation against a man if it were to benefit them. That's disturbing. And this is exactly the kind of data that men in my realm, the men's rights activists of the world, and just men in generally who have experienced false accusations have warned about for decades.
This is kind of the core position for MRA, which is to fight against false rape allegations. This is like a big thing for them. And one of the things of course, I agree with this whole idea in principle. One of the problems that I do have is that they seem to think that they have the moral high ground or somehow they have the monopoly on this issue. What I mean by that is if a pickup artist or if a guy who's in the red pill or if a guy who's black pill or whatever, if they want to talk about false allegations, it's like, no. I'm an MRA guy. I'm the only one who's allowed to talk about this. No, they don't. If you guys want to go back and check my video on Jack Denmo, my video on Stefan Diggs, these false allegations are a very serious thing. I've talked to you guys about the 3 things you need to do to stop these things from happening. Number 1, cameras in common areas, not in bedrooms or bathrooms. You need to have a camera in common area. I'm telling you very soon, they're going to try to pass legislation to keep you from having cameras in common areas, specifically because this is going to be the number 1 thing that's going to protect you. Number 2, men do not pour women's drinks. And that's what you have on camera. You show that you as the like a lot of times if you have a party, always I would recommend hiring a really hot female bartender, and her job is not only to be your wingman, but her job is to also pour women's drinks. Men do not pour women's drinks. I've had situations before where girls will come by and they'll be over at my place and, we'll be hanging out, having a party, and she'll be like, hey, can you grab my drink and then bring it into the other room? And it's on camera. I won't even touch the glass. As soon as she touches the glass, I will not touch it for any reason whatsoever. I'll have another girl pick up her drink and go. It makes sure everybody is very clear about what happened. And you guys all have that friend. You guys know that friend of yours who's like, who roofied me after my 16 shots of tequila and my mushrooms? And when I took ketamine last night, someone roofied me. It's like, nobody roofied you. Nobody roofied you. So that's number 2. And number 3, you do not leave lascivious messages. This is the most important thing. When you leave lascivious messages, all you're doing is leaving a trail that indicates that you are showing too much interest or too much intent, or that you did not get compliant. So those are the things I would recommend. By the way, thank you for I got 3 super chats. I just thought you guys didn't like me. I'm sorry. All right. I'll read those super chats in 1 second. Let's keep going with this video.
Get criticized for mostly debunking viral claims about men. Well, fair enough. Let's check a claim about women for a change. In this video, the commentator makes 2 claims. Claim number 1, around 31% of women reported knowing another woman who had made false SA allegations against a man. Claim number 2, 39.6% of women indicated that they could imagine, if needs be, making a false SA allegation against a man if it were to benefit them. So, false SA allegations, a very interesting and controversial topic. So let's check whether there's any validity to these claims. The numbers seem to come from a study called Lies and Imagined Intent to Lie by Sharon Burge and Cassandra Matthews, published in Current Psychology in 2021. The study surveyed 255 women, college students, and community participants about false assault claims, including whether they had ever made one, whether they knew someone who had, and whether they could imagine making one in the future. So right away, we can see one of the main limitations of the study. It is too small to be generalized to all women. And by the way, the authors acknowledge this too. Another limitation is that the authors did not specify the type of assault claimed. So some participants could have interpreted assault as a physical assault rather than sexual assault. Keeping these limitations in mind, let's look at the results of the study and whether they match the claims made by the original commentator. One result was that out of 255 women, 18 or 7.1% said they had lied about being assaulted. But only 4 women said the false claim was made to an authority figure. The other 14 said it was made to friends or family. The second result, which relates to the commentator's first claim, was that 78 women, around 31%, reported knowing someone else who had made a false claim. So the first claim generally matches what was stated in the paper. But you still need to be careful when interpreting it, since those are not verified cases. The authors themselves say this depends on whether participants could accurately report what they had heard. The commentator.
Okay, so before we keep going here, because there's a lot to unpack here. This is a really, really good thing. And by the way, let me highly recommend all you guys check out Elia's channel. Elia does a lot of debunking videos, and that's kind of my thing. I'm really into that. I don't need to be right, but I understand that my opinions do not supersede reality, and sometimes I have opinions that are incorrect. And if somebody corrects me, I'm very open to it. And so I really, really like this guy's channel. I highly recommend. He does a lot of debunking. But the thing is, there's a couple things here. Number 1, I want to go over this. The false RAPE allegations. Number 1, the most common quoted statistic is that it's between 10 and 2%. You might be asking, okay, Michael, where does that 10% number come from? Where does that 2% number come from? Well, I know where the 2% number comes from. And anybody who wants to debate me on this, or anybody who has a problem with what I'm about to say, I would like to go ahead and challenge you to take a second and look this up for yourself. The idea that only 2% of SA allegations are fake or false comes from an interview that happened in 1974 between a journalist and a judge when they were in quarters, when they were in the judge's chambers. Just a journalist talking to a judge. There was no peer-reviewed data. There was absolutely no rigor whatsoever. It was one judge's interpretation. It was one judge's opinion back in the 1970s, period. You don't believe me? Look it up for yourself. Look, tell me I'm wrong if you don't believe that what I'm saying. Go ahead right now on ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, pick whichever one you want and say, is it true that the 2% number that the FBI and the Bureau of Statistics from the FBI keep stating only comes from one interview that happened in the 1970s, and they're going to tell you that what I'm saying is true? It's unfortunate. And I really wish people, it's irresponsible when I hear people quote that 2% number, because it's not true. It is not true at all. And you guys should never quote it. The number, if you want to put a gun to my head, that I believe is somewhere between 8 and 11%. Now, I know a lot of the red pill guys are like, only 11%. I'll tell you why I believe it's 11%. There's a university, or not university, there's a study that was done in Virginia back in the 1980s where they took a bunch of men who were convicted of those crimes. And then they later on, once DNA testing became more prevalent in the early and mid 90s, they went back and exonerated several of these men. Well, they knew definitively that these men did not commit the crimes that they committed. And it was about 11% of these men. That's the number I kind of live around. It's 11%. Now, I think it's 11% of the ones that go to trial. I think if we're talking overall accusations, and we're not including the accusations that even go to police, it's just one girl telling her friend that she got RAP'd. When that happens, I'm thinking it's closer to 20 or 30%. I think it's closer to 20. I know there's going to be guys in the chat be like, it's 60%, Michael. It's not 60%. The vast majority of the time, when women claim that they were assaulted, they're telling the truth, especially if they're willing to go to trial. I think that they are probably telling the truth, or they're telling their truth. But I think it's insulting. I think it's intellectually dishonest and intellectually lazy. I think it's academically lazy to say 2%. That doesn't make any sense. That is so absurd. The idea that 2% are false is ridiculous. You can come up with hundreds of examples of women just making this stuff up. The idea is ridiculous. And here's the other reason why I bring this up. There's two main reasons why, because a lot of people are like, why would normal women ever create a false allegation like this? I'm going to give you two reasons why they would. Number one, this is the most common one I've seen personally. My clients have told me this. The number one reason why a woman would create a false allegation is she went and had a good time with a dude, and then her man found out about it. That is by far the biggest one I've ever seen. She had a good time with a dude, and then her man found out about it. And because her man found out about it, she had something she had to tell her man. And so she wasn't trying to go to the cops. She just needed something to tell her man, be like, no, he just pinned me in this room, or blah, 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 whatever. That's the most common one I've seen. Second most common one I've seen is women who suffer from BPD, borderline personality disorder. This might be a Brittany Renner type or an Amber Heard type, where when they feel abandoned or being pulled away, they use the nuclear option. Well, what's the nuclear option that a woman can use against man? It's RAP allegations. So that's the other reason why I've seen, those are the most common reasons why I've seen those false allegations happen, is those two reasons specifically. In the Jack Denmo situation, and yes, I stand by this, I think Jack Denmo was falsely accused and falsely convicted. In that situation, the girl performed a sexual act on him of her own volition. She even admitted that she did so. And then afterwards, she said she took away consent. Okay, if you want to believe that, that's fine. There are several problems, but here's one of the main problems. At the end of the interaction, Jack asked her to leave his house. She was like, hey, I got to get up in the morning and leave. And she told her therapist that she felt used afterwards. Okay. I'm not trying to be insensitive here, but if I had been sexually assaulted, and then afterwards, me being sexually assaulted, the person was like, I need you to leave, I would just fucking leave. I wouldn't feel used. Am I crazy? Like if someone punched me in the face and was attacking me and like threatening to kill me, and they were like, you need to leave now, I'm not going to go over it through like an emotional experiment. I'm going to leave. Am I crazy? Maybe I'm the one who's crazy. I'm not trying to be insensitive here, but like I think it's one of the strangest things. That is one of the strangest convictions I've ever seen. It is so odd that a man was convicted with no physical evidence, none, no medical evidence, no evidence of assault, no corroborating witness, nothing. He was convicted of SA and is currently serving 3 years in jail for that. That is crazy to me. Anyway, let's keep going with Elias thing here. We got a little sidetracked there.
A second claim that 39.6% of women indicated that they could imagine, if needs be, making a false sexual assault allegation against a man if it were to benefit them is much.
This is interesting. This is a very interesting one.
More misleading. The actual question was whether participants could imagine a situation where they would make a false claim, rated on a 0 to 100 scale from no, I would never do this, to absolutely, I can imagine one. So even a very low non-zero answer could be counted as a positive answer. But that is quite different from saying I would do this. Also, the question was about imagining a situation. The wording if needs be or if it were to benefit them seems to have been added by the commentator, not used by the authors. The paper does discuss possible motives like fear, revenge, embarrassment, and excitement, But that is not the same as saying that 39.6% of women would weaponize allegations for personal benefit. So a more careful wording would be something like this. In one small exploratory survey of 255 women, 39.6% gave some non-zero answer when asked if they could imagine a situation where they might make a false assault claim. That is my...
This is one of the reasons I really respect Ilya, is because he's trying above everything else to be academically honest, and he's trying to do so on the least academically honest forum that exists in the history of humankind, which is called TikTok.
Less dramatic, but it is also much more accurate. And this is exactly why we need to be careful with studies like this. Yes, false accusations exist. Yes, they can destroy lives. And yes, it is important to talk about them. But that doesn't mean we should take a small exploratory study, remove the limitations, add more aggressive wording, and then use it to imply something about women in general. I criticize this when creators do it to men. So to stay fair, I should criticize it when creators do it to women too. Because the goal should not be to vilify men or women. The goal should be to try to stay as objective as possible.
Around
one more time, guys. I highly recommend going to TikTok and give Ilya a follow. Make some really great content. He puts a ton of work into those videos, and he does a lot of research, and he uses a lot of peer-reviewed data. A lot of times when I have an argument or a debate, I'll go see if Ilya's already done it before, because he has a lot of the work. Another one I watch is actually Dr. Max Butterfield. I know he's a little bit more centrist, but Dr. Max Butterfield, I feel like he's academically honest, and I like listening to a lot of the stuff that he does as well. That's the only thing I get. This is the reason why I respect Mac and Murphy a lot, Alex from Date Psych, and William Costello as well, is because even if they say something I just abhorrently disagree with, I do believe they're being academically honest. Got 5 super chats here. Asking you shall receive. Thank you, Handsome Cajun, for testing right there. I got a $20 super chat from my man Gabriel. Super chat test, man. Thank you. Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, Gabe. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it, brother. 199, it works well. Thank you. And then Jose Perez, what up, Michael? Send something about Mayfield May gays on your IGDM. Thank you, brother. I'll go check that out. I got you on lock there. And then I believe all women. This is crazy. Guys, again, I'm not saying to not believe women. What I'm saying is I have cousins I don't believe. I got homies I grew up with, I've known for 25 years I don't believe. I got friends I know very well with multiple academic degrees that have told me they have had sex with women I know they didn't have sex with. I don't believe anybody. The idea that I'm supposed to believe somebody because of their gender is horse caca. You got to be kidding me. It's nothing against women. I don't believe shit. I don't believe most people, period. You want me to believe all women? Come on, man. We got to use a little bit of like logic and reason in here. Hold on. I got 2 more questions on IG. Okay. Hey, Michael, did you hear Modern Life Dating took a shot at you on Fresh Prince CEO, defended you against him? I did not hear that, man. That's news to me. I got to say, man, I made a decision a while ago. I'm just going to stay out of this. I don't want to get heavy into this. I don't know what he said. But I know John. Like John and I have talked several times before. I also do know this. Several times I've heard people say that someone took a shot at me, and then I'll go have Hermes. By the way, we'll do our little AI minute right now. You guys know I'm using ChatGPT 5.6 Soul with Hermes. That's my brain that I'm using inside of my Hermes agent. I think there's nothing bigger. There's nothing better than that. I think that's the peak of what you can do right now as far as AI agentic. Hermes, I think, trumps everything else. I could actually have it go back and scrape the transcript and find out if anybody has ever said anything negative about me. It'll do it so quickly. I do use Super Grok for Twitter, and I use Gemini for YouTube sometimes. But I would highly recommend, if you guys want to get into agentic, let me start off from the beginning, because I know a lot of you guys don't do this. All of you should have a subscription. All of you should have a subscription to at least Claude or ChatGPT. I'd recommend ChatGPT. The reason why I would recommend it is because if you guys want to start using OpenClaw, or if you guys want to start using Hermes, you guys can use these agentic harnesses, and your $20 subscription to ChatGPT comes with almost unlimited subscription to these other plans. They're not unlimited. You have a certain amount of queries you can do every 5 hours, and it resets every 5 hours. Highly recommend that. If you guys like Claude, I also do Claude, because you like to do a lot of wordsmithing, or you like very nuanced reasoning, then I would use Claude. Claude, however, you cannot use in Hermes and OpenClaw, but you can use Claude with Claude Cowork. That also comes with it. So you get the $20 Claude for your app, and you get Claude Cowork as well. ChatGPT, you get ChatGPT Chat, you get ChatGPT Work, and you get Hermes, and a brain that can go into Hermes, or it couldn't go into OpenClaw, which are these open source harnesses that you guys can use. For those, and not you, some of you guys like DeepSeek. Let me tell you the advantages of DeepSeek. DeepSeek is cheaper, and DeepSeek is Chinese, which means DeepSeek is not woke. In fact, I would say the Chinese models are anti-woke. The Chinese are not a fan of our American wokeness. I actually very much like some of these Chinese models. Here's the problem with DeepSeek, Easy Money. I see Easy Money talking about DeepSeek. I use screenshots a lot of times. I'll go screenshot back and forth with my AI model to try to solve problems. DeepSeek cannot see screenshots. That's a massive problem with DeepSeek. And there's also no voice prompt. The new one that's come out, you guys have seen, it's Kimmy. What is it, guys? Somebody write it in the chat. The new one that just came out, the new model of, I believe, Kimmy. Let me check out the leaderboard here. There's OpenMax. Hi. Where's it at? Kimmy K3 by Moonshot AI. You know what, guys? Let me just pull this up. I respect your intelligence. So let's go ahead and do this real quick. This chart right here is probably one of the most important things you guys are ever going to check out. You guys see these right here? Let me tell you how to read these. For those of you who are trying to get into AI, nothing is going to help you more right now than getting you trying to understand like basic AI principles. So basically what this is, from right to left, this is how many dollars it costs per million tokens. Dollars per million tokens, weighted average. And this right here is the computational horsepower. Okay. This is kind of subjective, but the highest that you can get to, the highest rating is about a 62 and the lowest rating is about a 42. So you guys know Fable came out, Claude's Fable came out. Claude Fable adaptive reasoning max effort is the highest level of reasoning, 59.9, but it's also super expensive. And right here is Claude Opus 4.8. These are super expensive. Right over here is the new ChatGPT 5.6 Soul. That's expensive, but it's not that expensive, but it's competitive with Claude. This is the one that people are losing their mind over. Kimmy K3 just came out with one, and you see right here, it's 47 cents per million weighted tokens. Right here, look at, okay. So for Claude Fable, it's $3.21. For Kimmy, which almost the same level of reasoning, it's 57 as opposed to 59. It's 47. This is slave labor at this point. When you guys were talking about DeepSeek, DeepSeek is right here. Hold on, which DeepSeek is it? So GPT 5.6 Luna is right here. GLM 5.2 is another really good one, but you like see this DeepSeek 4.0. It doesn't reason very well, but it's super cheap. It's 14 cents. I know for some of you guys, like, why are we talking about this? It is irresponsible for me as a performance coach. It is irresponsible for me as a male self-improvement coach to not tell you every single day to bash you across the back of your fucking head with a tennis racket over and over again until you start to learn to use AI. You will use AI or you will die. Agentic AI or you will die, period. You guys have no idea. Any of you guys who have used Hermes, you used OpenClaw, you use Manus, you use Claude Code, or you use ChatGPT Work, you use Perplexity Computer, any of you guys have used these, you understand very quickly after you ask it to do some stuff that, oh shit, you come to the core realization. It's just very similar to the realization you come to when you figure out that pre-selection works with women. You're like, oh shit, this is the part that I've been missing. And everyone who doesn't do this is going to be dead. Like they're not going to have any chance. It's the same situation here. If you guys are not fully and totally grasping AI, it's very simple. So now here's the next thing I want to tell you. For those of you guys who don't understand why I'm saying this. Michael, you're telling me you program your Hermes to go through and scrape hundreds of YouTube videos and then tell you which ones are the most viral so that you can react to it on your show? You're telling me you do that? How do you do that? Do you know how to code in Python? No, here's what I do. Hey, Hermes, what up, bitch? Yo, can you motherfucking, I don't know, check out like my last 100 videos and, just tell me whatever the fuck they talk about, my last 100 tweets. And then can you go find videos that are kind of like that shit? And then, yeah, just give me a list of like 500 videos that I can react to. You know what I'm saying? Send. That's how I program Hermes. You guys think I'm exaggerating. That's exactly how I talk to it. You have regular conversations with these bots and they give you unbelievable levels of output. All of you are not listening to me. It's agentic AI or you die. Agentic AI made the fucking background behind me right now. If any of you guys from Vegas, you know that this scene behind me can't even exist. It's not even real. It's crazy, guys. I hope you guys, let me say one last thing. All of you who are, especially this younger generation who hates AI, I want to explain something to you. You can hate AI all you want. You can hate AI as much as the Pope hated the fact that the earth went around the sun and put Galileo in house arrest. You can hate it all you want. You have two options. You have option one, which is to make AI your bitch. And option number two is someone who knows how to use AI is going to make you his bitch. And you got about 30 seconds to figure this out. Let's keep going, guys. Hopefully that was helpful. By the way, on my Thursday calls that we do in the Men of Action program, we talk a lot about AI stuff. So here's the thing. We just did that one video with Elia. I want a second video with Elia that I actually really like. So this is kind of the opposite side to that first one. Oh, they took it down. Oh no. Yeah, this one was rough. It was a woman saying some pretty crazy stuff. Let me see if it pops up. No, it's gone. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Some videos, they get reported. Some of the videos that we try to react to when they're like really controversial, a lot of times they get taken down. So that one got taken down. So this one is not controversial. This guy is, you want to talk about, I will say this, I'm going to say this definitively, okay? This person that I'm about to show you is quite simply the most dangerous man in the entire world on the internet when it comes to women's safety. This man single-handedly is ruining more relationships and making more women unsafe by the nonsense he spews than anybody. Like, honestly, literally, this man simply gaslights human beings at a level that is unimaginable, and he is seriously one of the most dangerous people I've ever seen when it comes to women.
The more bills a woman pays by herself, the less attractive men become. Because she's now so independent that all she's worried about is taking care of her family and leveling up. To her, a man has no place in her life because he's not bringing anything to the
super organic. It's not like he's reading a script, is he?
Table, but headaches and wasted time. Yeah.
Okay, so I just want you guys to understand. I want you to understand what you've been reduced to. According to Chris GQ Perry, the only thing that you can provide to a woman, because she's so busy taking care of everything, the only thing you can provide is money. Along with the money you provide, she has to deal with the headaches that come along with being in a relationship with you, because being in a relationship with a man must only involve headaches. Unless you're in a relationship with Chris GQ Perry, in which case I'm sure there's no problem whatsoever. I'm sure Chris GQ Perry's wife has no problem, or whatever has no problem. Although, by the way, shout out to Chris GQ Perry's wife. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. Chris GQ Perry has a video, I think I saw it previously, where he was talking about unacceptable behavior by men, where men end up following women, other female content creators or whatever. And he's like, you shouldn't have to put up with that. Except for the fact that Chris GQ Perry follows my best friend, Kindly Myers, and she's never spoken to him. Why are you following Kindly Myers, Chris? I don't understand. And by the way, brother, don't try to take it down now, because I already got a screenshot of it. Why is Chris GQ Perry complaining about other men following models when he's actually doing the same thing? Could it be that he's a hypocrite and he's just gaslighting everyone? This is what I was talking about before, man.
As she's in her masculine energy, and that's not going to change until a real man steps up to the plate and takes some of that weight off.
Guys, just read some of these. Just look at all the women just agreeing with this horse crap. 1 million likes. This got 1 million likes
off her shoulders. The more bills a woman pays.
Bro, it is wild to me. This is just like the epidemic. You're sitting there. You heard that one woman talking about the manosphere and how damaging it is. Do you want to know what's way more damaging? Way more damaging is telling any group of people you are not accountable for your own actions. There's nothing more damaging than that. Are you kidding me? Do you understand what you would do to your children if you just let them run amok, gave them all the money and candy that they wanted, and never disciplined them? Do you think that's being disrespectful? Do you think that's helpful for your children? That's what Chris GQ Perry's doing. If you listen to his content, it's never her fault that anything bad happened to her. You have four baby daddies. You have 4 children with 4 baby daddies. You want to know why? It's because men are toxic. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Chris. I made $1 million and really turned my life around because I listened to you tell me that none of this shit was my fault. Bro, he is simply the most dangerous thing that has ever happened to women on the internet, period. And the reason why I say that is not specifically because the stuff he's saying is so hurtful or dangerous. It's because he gets 1 million likes a post for spewing his nonsense about a woman can tell if you're cheating based on a dream. No, she can't. There would be some kind of data that could prove this. And in fact, there's tons of data that shows that people who have anxious attachment styles, will imagine that you're cheating on them even when you're not. There is plenty of data on that, but no, we don't want to talk about that, man, bro. It just, I'm sorry, I get a little too worked up, dude. Okay, let's do another one. This one's a funny one. This guy's one of my favorite content creators.
Do you think?
Oh, actually, no. It's a different one, but this one is same question. I think she kind of actually took the idea from the original one.
That gays have lost any rights under the conservative administration that we have right now? Absolutely. What rights have they lost? I think. Sorry.
I think it just hit her. Do you guys understand? There's another video I've shown this before where a guy is walking around and he goes, "Wow, he's pointing at his friend. He goes, "Wow, you have a nice chest." He says this to her. It's a prank video, and there's a woman. She's got big boobs, and she's like, "You can't just say that to people," because she thought what he was saying is that you have a nice chest to this woman. And as soon as she realized that he was saying to a guy who literally was holding a chest, you could see the look on her face is the same look that this woman has, because in that moment, she's come to the realization, I can't play the victim. There's nothing that drains someone of their power more than when you take away their victimhood. And in this moment, she was certain of her victimhood with the question. And then when she had to do any critical thinking, she couldn't come up with an answer.
It's okay. Girl, why are you nervous? It's all good. Is this live stream? No.
Sorry,
If you're done, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Have a good day. Do you think that gays have lost any rights under the conservative administration that we have right now? Absolutely. What rights have they lost?
Do you see the certainty in her face, guys? I just want to show it to you again. There's no hate towards this woman, no hate towards this content creator, but do you see the certainty in her face? She was sure that she was right. It's because it felt like she was right. And then she had to think about it.
I think... Sorry.
And this, by the way, this interviewer, bro, do you guys see what she did? She wore like a rainbow dress. Why? Because she wanted this woman to think that she was talking to an ally. And she asked a legitimate question. And when she asked the question, there was no answer, because there is no answer. I'm not even trying to make a statement against that, but it's just like that the question is obvious. Yeah, I thought that was an interesting one that I saw. Hold on. Here we go. Another good, great video. I like to use videos about Professor Galloway specifically because Professor Galloway, by the way, he has responded to me before. He just said that he doesn't have the bandwidth to come on my show. I don't know if that's accurate. Scott, you're always welcome to come on my show. I think we'd have a very interesting conversation. I don't think we'd agree on a lot of things when it comes to fiscal policy, but I think we would agree on a lot of things when it comes to the dating crisis. And I really think a lot of people who your voice doesn't get to, a lot of people who don't hear your message would get to hear your message if you actually came on my show and vice versa. And I think it would actually be good for your message to open up and maybe just not say like the furthest right Scott Galloway will go is like Chris Williamson. He won't go any further than that. You know, just staying in your safe area where you're with Oprah Winfrey, I think maybe venturing out of that a little bit more might be helpful for your platform, might be helpful for you to get your message out, because I do think you have an important message. So denying content creators like me for doing an interview with me, I'm not upset. I'm just saying it might do you some good to step outside and have a conversation outside of your comfort zone when it comes to that. Let's go ahead and let's show my man Scott here. Anyway, also Scott, I'm a big fan. I've read all of your books.
Have kids when they have sex, and when they don't have sex, they don't have kids. As Deborah So said, we risk sextinction, and that is young people aren't.
Dude, Deborah So is like quite simply the most inconvenient thing that has ever happened to feminism.
Connecting metaphorically and literally.
In many countries now, a couple that moves in together is more likely to break up than to have a kid. And that's never been true until now. What we almost want to do is make having a girlfriend or boyfriend high status. That sounds ridiculous to say, but
it does sound ridiculous to say, because again, what is the problem with that? Making a girlfriend or boyfriend, making that feel high status. It is or it isn't. But high status is not something you can make feel a certain way. High status is something that just happens, and it's generally fueled by evolutionary desires. So again, this is one of the places, you guys know I'm a huge fan of Richard Reeves, but Richard Reeves has this whole thing about the stay-at-home dad. One of the ways to get rid of the gender pay gap, because he talks about it, gender pay gap is actually a childcare gap. One of the things he talks about is that we could get rid of the gender pay gap if we had paternal leave, meaning men had to take off 9 months or whatever. Also, whenever their wives were pregnant, and that way, women could catch up. And I understand that. The problem is when men lose their jobs, women are 1/3 1/3 more likely to file for divorce. Those gender norms are not perpetrated by men. They're perpetrated by women. Women do not want less powerful men who make less money and are incapable. That is just, again, remember what I said before about parental investment hypothesis? Why would they want that? If I had a daughter, would I want my daughter to marry a man and have children with a man who could not take care of her and my grandchild? Obviously, no. I understand why hypergamy and sexual selection and mate choice, I understand why these things exist. I get it. I'm not upset by these things. They don't bother me. They are, if you want to blame someone, blame Charles Darwin. This is a function of evolution. It's not even a function of culture. That's not my problem. My problem is the idea that we're supposed to change and just all of a sudden become, oh, the stay-at-home dad. Of course he's a stay-at-home dad while mom goes out and makes all the money. You can believe that. I know in a fair world that seems like something that you'd like. The problem is that man is now laughed at by his friends, and her friends are emasculating their relationship and him. And the next thing you know, she files for divorce. And if I'm wrong, then go find the data that shows that when a man becomes a stay-at-home dad, that she's less likely to divorce him. Just do that, and I'll shut the fuck up. Find the data that shows that, but you can't because there isn't any data that shows that. Obviously.
But on various social media platforms now, there is this idea for girls and young women that having a boyfriend is kind of lame.
I think a lot of it is we aren't producing enough economically and emotionally viable men. The number one stated reason for terminating a pregnancy.
We are not producing enough economically viable men, correct. Emotionally viable men, Scott, I don't know that men right now are no less emotionally viable than women are. And the data on the data on dating apps and the data on the way social media affects women would show women do not have any advantage when it comes to emotional vulnerability. The difference is women are the sellers in the sexual marketplace, so they have a built-in advantage.
Is that they don't have a reliable partner.
From country to country, it's higher income and more well-educated people, men and women, are the ones who are far more likely to end up in those stable relationships, stable housing, having kids.
People have kids when they have sex.
Yeah, there was the statement that
people have kids when they have sex, and when they don't have sex, they don't have kids. As Deborah So said, we risk sex.
Yeah, so we're kind of getting to that place, and you know what we was talking about before. People who live together are more likely to break up than to have children, and this is like the first time in history where we've ever been in that place. I don't know if it's right or wrong. I'm not one of these like mega conservative guys who are like thinking we need to all have like 13 kids and repopulate the earth. And I could see, I don't think we need population control, but like 8 billion people is also enough. Like both things can be true. I don't think we need 22 billion people on the planet. I got news for you. You ready? You want my quotable, controversial statement of the day? I got one for you. For those of you who want us to go forth and multiply, you have every right to say that, and I don't have any problem. And you have the right to have as many children as you want. As long as you can take care of them, you have the right to have as many children as you want. But if you look at certain numbers, people have run these graphs, these population graphs, and say, by in the next, like 2050, there'll be 22 billion people on the planet. Okay. The same people who want us to have that many people on the planet are also very anti-GMO. And I'm not pro-GMO, the genetically modified organisms. I'm not pro-GMO. But I will tell you this, you can have one or you can have the other, but you can't have both. You can't have 22 billion people on the planet and then also not have genetically modified organisms. You can have one or you can have the other, but you can't have both. You cannot feed 22 billion people without genetically modified crops and organisms and animals. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this. So you get to pick which one you want. If you don't want GMO, then you can't have 22 billion people. If you don't mind GMO, you're fine with GMO, then you can have 22 billion people. But I think 22 billion, if you guys don't think there are enough people on this planet, just go sit in rush hour traffic in Los Angeles one day, and then you're going to realize I could see very little use for half the people that are out there. I've become a bit of a, what's it called? A misandrist? Not misandrist. Yeah. When you just don't like people at a misanthrope. I become a bit of a misanthrope. I'm not a misanthrope in general, but I'm a misanthrope whenever I'm driving through LA traffic. Yeah, I just don't know that we need that many more people. But maybe I'm wrong. Okay. I'm not trying to, I know there's going to be some people, Bible thumpers, who are going to hit the quote Christ to me, quote the Bible to me, but I just don't think we need billions and billions and billions of people more. All right, let's go to the next one here. This is a good one right here. I got to give my boy, I got to give my boy James a shout out probably once an episode. So here's his shout out. Let's do that again.
Is divorce harder on women or men?
I think it's equally hard on both, but I think that the world is more sympathetic to women when they get divorced. I think when a woman gets cheated on, the man's a piece of shit. And when a woman cheats on a man, she must have been forced into the arms of this other man, or she had to explore herself, or she was being neglected in some fashion. And so if a man cheats, he's a piece of garbage. And if a man's wife cheats, he mustn't have been meeting her needs, and she had every right in the world. So the world is very unsympathetic to men when they get divorced. There was a maternal presumption, a legal presumption, what was called the tender years doctrine, which was that if a child was under the age of 7, they were automatically presumed that they would be in the custody of the mother. So men get really beat up still in court. I mean, the law theoretically is gender blind right now, but I don't actually see that because the law is people. The law is judges, and judges are human, and they have all the same biases. And it's just not a moment right now where men are particularly sympathetic characters, even young men. I mean, if at a school dance they sing Beyonce's Girls Who Runs the World, like if there was a song called Men Who Runs the World, Men, and it was a positive thing, like you get pilloried for that. So I think obviously James and I are friends. We send each other memes. He's a really great guy. He comes and hangs out. He came to my birthday a couple years ago. The thing with James is that he's in this great place that I wish I could be in, where he can point out the absurdity of both sides, and then he doesn't get pilloried for it because he really the way he puts forth his message is really why. I always say this. This is going to sound like I'm glazing him, right? But I always ask myself, like, whenever I have a question about how I want to respond to something, kind of like my core position is I look at and I ask myself, how would Richard Reeves and how would James Sexton answer this question? We don't have to agree on everything, but like I truly think those two men have no hatred in their heart for anyone. And I mean, to a certain extent, I would say Alex Hermes and Chris Williamson, but for the most part, I say when I have a decision to make and I'm like, should I go after this person online? Should I talk shit about this person? Should I, whatever? I ask myself, what would Richard Reeves, how would Richard Reeves and James Sexton react to this specific situation? Because I look at those two guys as they're both older than me. I look at those two very wise men who are perceived online kind of the way I wish I was perceived. That's never going to happen. Obviously, I host bikini competitions and make manosphere content. I'm never going to be perceived the way they're perceived. But my point is, I admire those two guys. So whenever I think about like what's the moral compass, I look at those two guys specifically. I'm like, because they have very tempered answers. Richard Reeves said one of my favorite quotes of all time, which he basically said, we have to believe that everybody comes from a good place. You guys understand that like Pol Pot and Stalin, they all thought they were the good guy, right? You guys understand that, right? Napoleon, not a very good person, but Napoleon thought that he was conquering all of Europe for the good of Europe, not for the good of Napoleon, right? We all think we're the good guy whenever we're in the middle of this. But like for me, my moral compass, I usually start with those two guys, Richard Reeves and James Sexton. Cool. Let's keep going. Actually, let's finish this video here real quick. I think that men have a very hard time right now in divorce. They see their children less. They get hit harder financially.
Somehow he has this way of saying this where he just doesn't come off like a bigoted mouth, knuckle dragging, like troglodyte misogynist. And like, I try to not do this, but even I get caught in this trap. Like when he's saying this, you can clearly tell he doesn't hate women, and neither do I, but it's just so crazy. Like the depths you have to go to try to avoid this pitfall.
They are the bad guy no matter what. If they cheat, they're the bad guy. If they get cheated on, they were the bad guy because they probably neglected her. There's a presumption that the man is to blame a lot of the time. Men find a less sympathetic world. But in fairness, divorced men have it a little easier. Divorced men meet a young woman and the woman's like, instant family, just add me. That's great. If he's got kids, it's like, oh, he's got kids. Look at how nurturing he is and how lovely. Women.
So it's kind of the same thing.
thing. It's like proof of concept, just how pre-selection we were talking about earlier. When a man already has a family, that's proof of concept. That means that he's virile, like he could have children. It also means he cares about children. Like think about it. When a woman is vetting a man through pre-selection, she's trying to see whether or not he's attractive, other women find him attractive, whether or not he smells bad, he's abusive, all these different things that you can tell by seeing that other women approve of him. Well, you can, if he's got kids and he was married and she divorced him, that's like 3 steps further. Like he's capable of taking care of children. Like this guy seems like a great deal.
And they get divorced, they've got kids. Guys are like, whoop, it's got baggage. I'm not going near that. Men and women have different.
Again, just great. Again, there's what James is saying, and then there's the way he's saying it, which is so brilliant because he's a terrific litigator. That's why he makes so much money he's terrific. Like he is the most famous divorce attorney in the world. Why is that? It's because he also pointed out the fact that women do have it harder. When a woman is divorced with kids, I'm not saying she can't get laid, but her value on the dating market does take a hit with a certain class of men. We could say that. Do you have to call me a misogynist because we say that? Really? Do we have to? Do we have to go down this path every single time? Do we have to have this argument over and over again? I want to say this real quick. I haven't seen it yet, but I do know. I'm going to call out somebody here real quick. Actually, let me see if I can pull up this clip because I was bothered by something. It takes a lot to bother me, but this one bothered me. If you guys saw that there is this was back in April. I think they filmed this back in April, but they're just showing it now, which is Mark Manson went on to Jezebel and had a discussion. Let me see if I can, or Jubilee. Let me see if I can find Jubilee real quick. So let's go to Jubilee Media and let's see if I can find it. Here it is. Okay, so it's Mark Manson versus a bunch of guys in the manosphere. And let's just play it real quick because I got a little statement I want to make after I show this. And one more time, shout out to Instagram for muting every video as soon as I play it because that's super helpful for everyone for you to mute it. Thank you.
Flag if you think Andrew Tate is a good influence. Raise your flag if you think Clavicular is a positive influence. Raise your flag if you think Nick Fuentes is a positive influence. Has feminism held men back? Or has the manosphere distorted what masculinity means for an entire generation?
I think we should have 100 more Andrew Tates. Feminism, straight pipeline to abortion.
Feminism, it tells women if they want to sleep around, that's totally fine.
Well, feminism is ruining culture and society.
If you're going to measure it, feminism has done more damage to society and men's mental health, family economy, the nuclear family.
Taking is a little bit worse than giving.
If we both go to a used car lot, one car is totaled, one car has the engine blown out twice, head gasket never works, always has to be replaced. Another car has a fender bender. Which one are you taking?
My first surrounded claim is that the manosphere is a billion-dollar business that profits off keeping men angry and insecure.
Again, which is the billion-dollar business? Is it the manosphere that profits on keeping men insecure? First off, it's not a billion-dollar business, not even close to that. And number two, when you think about all the misandrist and like incredibly toxic pro-feminist, anti-male content that's on TikTok, that legitimately is a billion-dollar business. So sorry, Mark, you lost me on the first one. This is Mark Manson, and I'm a fan of his books, which is why this is so disappointing because it really did feel like he didn't do a ton of research and he just, dude, Mark Manson has a book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, but he only did this because he gave a fuck. This is dog whistling.
And next surrounded claim is that a woman's body count doesn't matter.
Again, here's the problem. You didn't do any work if you believe this. Of course, a man's body count matters and so does a woman's. There's tons of data. Let's just start with the IFS data that shows that when women cheat in a relationship, when they're surveyed after they've been in a relationship for a while, the women who cheated had 230% more sexual partners before they got married than women who don't. There's tons of data. In fact, that shows that relationship satisfaction decreases with the more people you sleep with. The idea that this isn't true, you are simply denying settled peer-reviewed science. This is not this is dog whistling, this is virtue signaling, and it's fucking laziness. And it's the reason they didn't invite me to debate him, because they understood what was going to happen.
My next surrounded claim is that porn has done more damage to men than feminism.
Again, who supports porn?
The idea that women can choose what to do with their body is a function of feminism. The idea that porn has done more to hurt men than feminism is because of feminism. These are lazy arguments that he's making. And one more time, I looked at the guys. I talked to one of the guys who they had to debate. Guys, they had 20 guys in the manosphere. I live 275 miles away from the studio that Jubilee has. Does anyone want to guess whether or not Jubilee Media reached out to me? Hey guys, you want to know something? I debated Destiny and Sneeko and Zerka and a bunch of other people. I've debated tons of people, and to this date, I've never lost to any of them. Isn't it weird? Isn't it strange that Jubilee didn't contact me or Rollo or any of us to have this conversation with Mark Manson? And I'm a fan of Mark Manson. I'm a fan of his books. I read Models, and I read The Subtle Art. I'm not giving a fuck. I understand that he's a mega woke liberal, but I still am a fan of his content. I can be a fan and still disagree with some of the content that he makes. Jubilee, at some point, Jubilee Media, you are making Mark look bad, and your audience is starting to think that you're trying to protect him. Why did you duck me from this conversation? I went and contacted you, and I asked you, when I heard this conversation was happening, I believe it was back in April or whenever you did the first one, I asked, could you have me come on? You guys know who I am, and you didn't ask me to come on. You've had Lucario on your show. You've had Justin Waller on your show. Why didn't you have any of those people on to debate Mark Manson? I know why. Because you didn't want any content creators that were as big as us. This is crazy. Jubilee, what you did was, I'm not going to say anything. I don't even need to express opinion. I'm just going to tell you, your audience even believes that you were trying to protect him, which doesn't make him look good, and it doesn't make you look good. If you're going to have a conversation about intersexual dynamics and you're not going to have someone on who talks about it every day, who actually genuinely represents the manosphere, number one, and number two, I would have thrown 18 tons of peer-reviewed data right on Mark's lap, and he would have had no way to retort any of it. Are you afraid I just was going to make him look bad? Why wouldn't you have me on? Again, please, I'm trying to, guys, if you want to go back and check, this is what I said. Let me see if we can pull it up here. Let me see if I can make him a little bigger. There we go. You make him a little bigger. Let's go right here. Here we go. I'm sorry. I'm really confused how you had this debate and didn't invite myself, a rational male. I say this with all due respect. It looks like to your audience, like you're ducking actual manosphere creators just to protect Mark. And I'm a fan of Mark. We could debate Destiny and Sneeko and win, by the way, but for some reason, you guys don't seem to want us on. And then I put the video of me debating Destiny and Sneeko. I'm not trying to be antagonistic. I'm just trying to see this from your perspective. Okay. And by the way, just in case you guys think I'm making this up, I knew that this was going to happen beforehand. One of the guys who was actually a part of this, send a message request. What do you mean message request? I already messaged them before. What is this? What is this prioritized message shit? I've already messaged them. Yeah, here we go. This was me. Hey guys, this is me back in April. Hey guys, I heard you guys are having one person versus 50 red pill guys on April 12th. I'm available if you want me to come on. I have dozens of peer-reviewed studies on evolutionary psychology. Hold on, can you guys see this? Yes, on evolutionary psychology, evolutionary biology, and sociology that support our points. And then I showed them my thing here. And then this is my video, 153 Science versus Social Circle, the Michael Sartain podcast. Nothing. Oh, for real? Like I know the content creators they had on. I talked to some of them, and no disrespect to them, but I don't think any of them had more than like 4,000 followers. But I'm trying to explain this to you. And if somebody could tag Jubilee and get this to them, I'd love to hear their response. I'm not trying to be antagonistic. I'm trying to see this from your standpoint. How are you having this discussion and you're not inviting us? Like actual manosphere content creators. I'm not saying that those people did not have great opinions and make great points. What I'm saying is I didn't recognize a single one of them. I didn't recognize. You want to talk about Andrew Tate? You know what I would have done? Jubilee, listen to me right now. Jubilee, listen to me. During the call, while we're doing this, I would have literally messaged or called Andrew Tate on the phone while we were doing the debate. I would have done that for you. Why didn't you invite me? There's no possible way. I refuse to believe that you just didn't. If this was a conversation that you were having about a certain sect of like evolutionary psychology or psychology in general or whatever, it's fine, but not manosphere. If you're talking about manosphere or red pill content creators and you don't know who Rollo and I are, you're being disingenuous and you're just lying.
So I'm asking you right now, just somebody contact me. I would love to know how you had that 20-on-1 and didn't even think to ask me to come on there. Is it because you understood what was going to happen to Mark if you did? I was never going to insult him. I would have probably taken a picture with him. I would have asked him for an autograph because I'm a fan of his. But this nonsense about body count doesn't matter, that does not stack up to any academic scrutiny. It doesn't stand up to any academic scrutiny. The idea that pornography hurt men more than feminism, when the whole point of allowing women to sell their body for sex was a proponent proposed by feminism, it simply doesn't make any sense. Again, I'm sorry to get riled up here, but I'm just getting tired of being kicked out of the party one time after another. At some point, you're not hurting me. You're hurting your own audience, and you look scared. Jubilee, you look scared. So I'm challenging you. And I hope a ton of people send this video to you. Next time you want to have a content about, I will not use any profanity. Not once. You will never hear the word B or S, or you will never hear me call a girl a 304. You will not hear anything the slightest bit disrespectful from me. But you will hear a whole lot of peer-reviewed data that is not going to make the points look really well. So if you want to continue to duck me, at some point, people are going to catch on, because there's nobody in this space who's better at debating this content than me. No one in the world. And for some reason, you decided to not invite me. Cool. We good? Awesome. Let's keep it going here, guys. Sorry, that one got me a little hot. Yo, this one is crazy. Copy, paste. Okay, let's do it. Actually, no, this is a different one. I don't think I've watched this whole video, so let's take it out. Let's unpack it.
Think someone might like you, but you want to know for sure. This is the video for you. There are some really specific psychological.
Guys, I got a paper that I'm writing. I'm actually using Hermes, ChatGPT, Claude. I'm having them scrape to look for other academic research on this one specific topic, and that is this. And by the way, this is true for men and women, but women are not in a crisis when it comes to finding dates. Men are. So I'm focusing on the male section of this, and that is people drastically misreport what they're attracted to, drastically. So men will say they like one thing. So you'll see this often where men will be like, I would never date a girl who is a stripper or does OnlyFans or whatever. And you see them marrying a woman who did that. You'll see men do this often, but it's generally out of desperation. It's not because they don't know what they're into. Women, on the other hand, will frequently say that I'm attracted to a man who reads, gardens, speaks multiple languages, is emotionally vulnerable. And then you look at who they sleep with, and it's some guy at a foam cannon party in Cancun who was not loyal. He was not emotionally available. He doesn't read, and she slept with him anyway. And so I'm actually writing a paper, and it's actually a lot of peer-reviewed data on this, which goes over the fact that women will consistently state things that they find attractive in a partner. And when men ask, what is it that makes you attracted to a man, they'll state those things. When men are actually asking, what makes you want to have sex? So in that whole thing, when we say 9 signs, scientific signs that they like you, this is kind of first off, if it's scientific, I'll let you know. I'll be the judge of whether or not it's scientific. And secondly, I am just waiting for someone other than Kezia Noble to start giving good dating advice that's a woman.
And biological things that someone is going to do when they like you that they don't even know that they're doing. As a relationship therapist with a doctoral degree in psychology, I've spent.
Okay, so let's try this. First off, I want to explain something to you. I run a business, and if I ran a business that had the same success rate as relationship therapy did, I would be out of business. If you guys were to actually look at the success rate for things like relationship therapy or marriage therapy, if you saw how incredibly low the success rate was and you try to operate a business like that with those metrics, you would be out of business very quickly. You telling us that you're a relationship therapist does not help me understand that that you understand relationships. What will help me understand that you understand relationships is whether or not you give good, pragmatic advice that is legitimate and useful for men in 2026. Let's see how scientific this is.
My life studying human behavior. So I know that these things are true. First thing you're going to look for is eye tag. This is when you look over at them, catch them looking at you, and then they promptly look away.
This is not back. Oh, hold on. Sorry, guys. We got it. I did this wrong. This is not back scientifically. The idea of what she just said, this is old school dating stuff. This is not. Let me explain to you why this isn't real. Anything that she says that a stripper could do to you in a strip club, and where the stripper is faking interest, what I'm saying is, could the things that she's describing be interest? They
could be interest, but she's saying they are interest. That is incorrect, and it's academically lazy to say things like this.
Fully biological. They are looking at you because they can't help it. They like you, and then they look away because they're embarrassed. Number 2, this one's kind of gross, but you're going to watch really closely for if they start like touching their face.
This is shit Mystery was saying like 20 years ago. What the fuck is this? Are you serious? Are you serious, bro? Yo, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I'm just, 1.8 million likes. Bro, this is so frustrating. Like, watch it. Like, this is so crazy to me that dudes are out here suffering, and 1.8 million likes for this. Bro, what?
We get aroused as humans, we want to start touching our face. Our face becomes extra sensitive. So
this is such unbelievable pseudoscience. All you have to do is on the bottom, then source the paper, source the peer-reviewed data that shows that people are attracted to you because they touch their face. And there would have to be a correlation. Sometimes I touch my face because I'm itchy. What in the world, man?
Notice them touching their face a lot, or even like sucking a straw a lot. They probably like you. You might also notice them.
That's the first time this doctor actually said something scientific. They probably like you. Finally. Okay, good. Probably.
Touching their upper leg and hip. This is another sign that they're turned on because it's their body's way of subconsciously drawing your attention downwards. I'm serious.
They look at your pelvis. 1.8 million likes for this? Yo, what have we... You heard that woman saying that she's afraid of men and how bad things have gotten? What? Yo, what is happening, man? How have we gotten to the point where we actually, men are suffering, bro. The bottom third of men like go years without sex, and you're making things worse with this hokum nonsense.
It's true. You're going to pay super close attention to the direction of their feet.
Here's the thing, doctor. I have a challenge for this doctor. Would you like to, we'll just do an experiment. I will take 100 of my clients from Men of Action, and then we'll take a bunch of guys that you can pick whatever random guy. You can pick the best looking guys you can find that are your clients, and then we'll see which one of them has more relationship success, your guys or mine. Well, why don't we do that test? Why don't we do that? Of course, we would never do that test because this woman's never helped a guy in her life.
If they like you, their feet are going to be pointed directly towards you.
Oh
and if
my God. Oh. 9,000 comments. 1.8 million likes. This has got to be a joke.
They don't like you, their feet are subconscious.
Oh, she has 9 of them. We've only gone through 4.
Going to be pointing away from you. Number 5 is exclusion. If they like you, they're going to try to exclude you and them from the rest of the group, not in like a weird.
Okay. She's actually right about this, but for the wrong reason. The reason why is because the only way you can tell if someone likes you is due to their compliance and behavior. It's not because they touch themselves. Meaning, here's how you can tell if a woman likes you. You're just like, hey, me and my friends, we're going to go out afterwards to go get something to eat. And she follows you out. That her following you out has a higher correlation of her liking you than anything that this doctor just said. For those of you who don't know, if you want to listen to me, again, one more time, I'll show you testimonials afterwards if you guys want to see. I understand what works. What she's doing is leading you down a path of you following around. So here's the crazy part about this. Everything that she stated is exactly what sugar babies and strippers do to make men think that those women like those men. Which if you can make these signals false, then that kind of proves that these aren't signals to show whether or not someone's attracted to you. The way you can make sure that someone isn't giving you false signals is through, say it with me, all the guys in MOA, you know what it means, compliance. When you get compliance from a woman, hey, come meet my friends. Let's go to the bathroom. Just follow me over to this side of the bar. Come meet, this is my friend John. This is my friend Steve. We're all going to go to an after party. Hey, give me your IG. We got a party coming up later. Hey, jump in this photo. Will you take this photo for me? Compliance. She's doing things. She's sacrificing. Sacrifice equals compliance, and more compliance means that someone is attracted to you more so than this. If we were to have a debate on this, I would just smother her with peer-reviewed data. And if I actually claimed to be a doctor or any kind of scientist on the internet spewing stuff like this, I'm going to show peer-reviewed data on the bottom. You guys want to see an example? Guy who cites every single claim he makes, go look at Mac and Murphy. When you watch Mac and Murphy's content on Twitter or on Instagram, he always puts the year, the university, and the author of what peer-reviewed data he's talking about. That is true academic honesty. This is utter and complete laziness, and this got 1.8 million likes.
Weird or creepy way. This is just because they want one-on-one time so that they can actually bond with you. They ever try to bring the conversation to like a sexy or romantic place, it's often because they're trying to find out if you like them. They want to talk.
This is wild. Like, okay, so this one is more right than it is wrong, but it's also not scientific. This is what I have a problem with. It's like when people like Joe Dispenza use words like quantum in order to try to sell more packages to the Mexico conference that he has every year, where he brings people down there and he basically tries to create a sex orgy. Like when Joe Dispenza does that, he uses quantum, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's quantum. It's quantum. No, you don't know." If Joe Dispenza were to sit in front of me right now and I would have put Erwin Schrodinger's equations for quantum mechanics in front of him, I could do the equations. He could not, because he doesn't understand quantum mechanics, because he's a fucking chiropractor. In this case, it's the same type of situation. This woman has somehow got a doctorate in something. I don't know what it is. She clearly doesn't understand how to cite peer-reviewed data. She doesn't understand peer-reviewed data. The fact that she's a relationship coach does not give her any credibility in my eyes whatsoever. I don't even know what her name is. But the fact, and by the way, I'm not even that mad if she had made like a cute little video like this. It's when she starts saying words like, "I'm a doctor, I'm an expert, and these are scientific." When I hear those terms, that makes me angry. If I leave this video and I say, okay, this woman gave me scientific ways to know someone's attracted to me, my first response would be like, "Oh, that's awesome. The one about touching your face, which university did that study? Huh? Which university? Oh, wait, there's no peer-reviewed data. Why is there no peer-reviewed data? Because this isn't science. This is, trust me, bro, information by someone who happens to have a PhD or an MD. I don't know what she has.
About sexy things so that you will confess. If they talk about working out or what they did in the gym, they want you to notice their body. Number 8.
Okay. You can't possibly think that there's some scientific finding that shows that when someone talks about what they did in the gym, I'm not even mad. I'm like disappointed. Watching this video, when you think about the incredible power that social media could have, watching this video just makes me think, yo, somehow TikTok has not kicked me off, which is crazy. I'm shout out to TikTok. I guess the whole thing I said about Gavin Newsom, whatever, is keeping me on TikTok. Watching this video feels like having a son who's 6'9" with a 42-inch vertical, who tells me he doesn't want to play basketball and he wants to sell crypto instead. Like, that's the level of disappointment. That's like, this video it doesn't make me angry. It just makes me sad for the world. You 1.8 million of you liked this video?
It is called peacocking. This is when they boast of.
She said peacocking. She said peacocking. Mystery, you guys know, is a friend of mine, Eric von Markovic. And he's the one who kind of popularized that term in the pickup community. And I'm not telling you that it's wrong. What I'm telling you is that the idea that this doctor is claiming that this is a scientific discovery that she's made, I'm not even mad. I'm just disappointed. Like, you know, your parents, you come home, you're late, and your parents are like, I'm not even mad at you. I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed in all of you who thought that this was good. I'm just disappointed in all of you who didn't question whether or not this was scientific. None of this is scientific. This is the thickest, this is like, if any of you ever drank psyllium husk, if you ever drank this stuff, it's this powder you put in there and it's supposed to give you fiber. This is just the thickest psyllium husk, like milkshake full of just trust me, bro, hokum I've ever seen. And it got 1 point. I'm not even, again, one more time, if she had not said anything about the word doctor or science, I would not have a problem with this video at all. But the fact that she said that is why I'm upset.
Lot or just come across as really conceited. If this person likes you, they're probably going to be a little bit of a peacock, but don't worry, it's totally natural and innocent because they want to impress you. Finally, guys, this is the kicker. If they give you a long hug, it's over. If you're still not sure if they like you, take my levels of attraction quiz. If you
oh my God, bro. I need, just like put a one in the chat if you just like need to take a Tums after you watch that. Bro. That just hurt so much to watch that, man. Guys, by the way, I'm not telling you that like peacocking has never worked. Well, actually, that's not what she's saying. She's saying they're peacocking because they're like trying to impress you. I'm not saying that this stuff has never worked. What I'm telling you, what the peacocking is, the idea that it's somehow this scientific thing that she's discovered. She is taking non-scientific bro science that she's heard from dating coaches and pickup artists, and she put the 9 of them together and did not do any research. There's no peer-reviewed data supporting anything that she said. I'll bet you if you squint really hard, you might be able to find 1 or 2 peer-reviewed documents that do maybe say something about proximity or whatever. You might be able to find them. My point is, if she's right, she happens to be right on accident. It's not because she did the research. Guys, let me explain something else to you. Again, I could show this to you. I'll do this on the next live stream. I'll show you the skeleton for the document that I've created. I'm writing a paper, and right now I've got 15 peer-reviewed pieces of data that I've got, which basically states that this is the ultimate thesis. Women complain about things that cause them to want to have sex with men. I mean, literally, the number one things that women complain about with men are the things that when women sleep with men, those are the things that those men have. So he's a fuck boy. He's promiscuous. He's too arrogant. He's too cocky. He doesn't have a dad bod. He's too muscular. Those are literally the things women complain about and then have sex with those men. In fact, almost exclusively have sex with men who have the attributes that women complain about the most. That's actually what my paper is about. And you want to know how easy it was to write this? It wasn't difficult. It was just conversations I would have where I'd have Hermes do the research and then I'd have Claude actually write the prose. It was very, very simple. All of you guys should be using AI. You know, my ability to use AI, this is why I'm saying, like, I get it, Jubilee. If you didn't want me to come on there if you don't want me to come on there with Mark, because it would have been bad. Like, literally, it would have just been one peer-reviewed paper after another, just dunking on him. The one about body count doesn't matter is the easiest one. That one is, I could go on for 2 hours. And by the way, I'm a guy who's saying this, who has, I can't say this on, I know some guys who have super high body count. I know some guys with super high body counts. I know some. Not me. I'm not talking about me, obviously. I'm a man of God. I would never do that. But I know guys who have super high body counts somewhere in the world, but not me. I never do that. I don't even understand women. I don't know women. I have no idea. I have no idea what to do when I'm around women. Women make me nervous. So I'm not talking about me, obviously. But I'm just saying, like, I know guys who have actually done that before. That being said, this is a completely different note. This was my birthday party a couple years back. This was an event that I threw a couple days ago. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't understand women, and it's really important that you listen to women explain to you what makes women attracted to men, because women are way better at understanding that than men are. Just so you're clear. Yeah, because I have no idea, and so I don't really understand what's going on. Yeah, I'm very scared and confused. And what I need is a doctor. I need someone who's a doctor in relationship science to explain to me how to generate attraction with women. Oh God, it's so disappointing. I don't want to show any more videos after that. That one really hurt. Guys, I'm going to just say this one last time. I'm going to keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. If you want to understand what makes women want to have sex with men, you need to talk to men who have sex with lots of women, period.
And I know that sounds, for some of you, like, it's terrible. They have sex with lots of women. They must be narcissists. Okay, maybe they are narcissists. I'm not sure. But what I do know is this. When you talk to men who've had sex with lots of women, they tell you what actually works with getting women to want to have sex with them. And it's not the same things that women tell you that are the things that get women to have sex with men, if that makes any sense. Female dating coaches are not, I've never heard a female dating coach where I was like, damn, that was really great advice. I haven't, except Kezia. Honestly, I had Kezia Noble on, and she was like brutally honest. She's the only one I've heard ever be like that. So, yeah, man, I got to go. I'm sorry. Just remember, guys, go peacock. If a woman is if a woman is touching her face, I mean, she wants to have sex with you. What was the other one? She was talking about going to the gym. That girl is down for me. She said something about the gym. Oh, I got last 3 super chats. I'm gonna get off here. We can't believe in all humans. Agreed. Thank you, Jose. Thank you for the super chats. One other one. I swear, when Skynet goes self-aware, it's gonna send the T-800s after you for being so rude to it. But yeah, taking the week off of work, and we'll get stuck into AI. Good, dude. Good, Rob. And then last one here is your backgrounds are 100% most of the best I've ever seen. Where do you get them or make them? So backgrounds, what I do is I found 2 that I love, and then I went into ChatGPT. ChatGPT, for whatever reason, Nano Bananas just kind of falls short. I use either ChatGPT on Hermes, which crushes, or I use ChatGPT on just regular ChatGPT app. And then I say, I need you to keep the same color composure, and I need you to make these images. And they'll do so, and they generally won't be very good, the first 4. And then I just keep talking to it over and over again. For my, the ones for my videos, I will tell you what I do is I'm just going to be honest with you. A couple things, let me pull it up for you. For my videos, what I do is, number one, I've changed the color of my channel to burnt orange because I'm a Longhorn. And the reason why I did that, and you guys see the images of me on the pictures here. This is where I stole it from. If you watch Chris Williamson, if you guys look at Chris Williamson, look at his thumbnails. We're just going to look at his thumbnails. That's all we're going to look at here. If we look at his thumbnails, what do you notice about Chris Williamson's thumbnails? There's a shade of green. Do you guys see the gay pay, the money? This is a shade of green that Chris Williamson uses on his channel, and he's the only person who kind of uses this shade of green. Okay? You see that? So I wanted so Chris Williamson is basically, he's made this color his own. Okay. This is a little bit of inside baseball for you guys who are like trying to build a YouTube channel. Alex Hermosi, he's done the same thing, except what color has Alex Hermosi had? You guys who watch Alex Hermosi, you guys should know the color of all of his videos. Alex Hermosi has a shade of yellow. Alex Hermosi has a shade of yellow that he uses right here. And this Alex Hermosi shade of yellow, he's kind of like adopted it for his own. So I did the same thing as well, but I did it for my shade of orange. That's the one I do. Hold on, let me see if I can find it here real quick. Let me go to my channel. You view the channel here. You can see I found a shade of orange that I really love, and so that's what I'm using instead. Sound good? Beautiful. Guys, I'm gonna run. I really appreciate that. Hold on, did we get any more? I appreciate the shout out about the backgrounds. Yeah, that video was enough. I don't think I can do much more after that video. I don't mind you making claims. I have a problem with you. I have a problem with the whole scientific part of it. That's the part that hurts me when you try to say that something's scientific when it's not scientific. That's why I have a huge problem with Sadia Khan. Sadia Khan is not, she does not have a doctorate. And often she says things that are kind of bro science. And I'm fine with the bro science, but just don't sit there and try to tell me that you're coming from a place of academia when you say it. All right, guys, I'm going to run. It's been fun. I will see you guys all on, hopefully on either Monday or Wednesday. And the stream is over. Take care.